movie. I mean, I swear to God, you'd love it. Oh, sorry. Look out. It's only me. Here we go. Stand by. Yeah. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And Flounder, the mechanical mangler. How's it going? 303. And it is a Thursday. And good to have you aboard. Here's our phone number in case you want to call. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And we got, man, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on the border and the hypocrites. Yeah. Honestly, you dirty, stinking, lying, phony, hypocrite Democrats. And if you haven't learned a lesson, everybody about how elections do have consequences, we keep saying it, stop voting for them. Anyway, 304, we got a billion things. Well, you'll hear President Stupid Face. As far as I'm concerned, he's a mass murderer. He's responsible for all those hundreds of thousands of people being killed and maimed because of drugs in the last 3 years. And it's his policies that did it. And now he got caught, and he had to admit it, and still says it won't work.
The wall,
yeah. You'll hear him actually. I mean, it's astounding. Also, they have an entire invasion island inside American territory to help the cartels. We'll talk about that. Also, the phonies going to the border. Mayorkas, that pimpy little snot bag. I mean, he's got to be impeached. They all have to go. And Mayorkas is now, by the way, disagrees with President Mass Murderer about whether the wall's going to work or not. You'll hear we have Donald Trump talking about it. Mayor Adams of New York is down there trying to tell people stop coming in. I mean, this is unbelievable. Everybody who's now was saying, "Oh, you dirty racist for not allowing brown people to come across the border," are now saying we don't want those brown people coming across the border
where we live.
Yeah. Because they all of a sudden started showing up at Martha's Vineyard.
Manhattan.
Yeah. Outside important people's houses.
It's like when a hurricane hits somewhere down in the Gulf. They are immediately telling you, how will this affect New York City in 3 days?
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. Also, I mean, our major story is this whole border wall thing, and you hear a lot of sound bites and reactions and all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot about that. And we'd love to hear your comments. And again, in fact, I know you won't do it, but I'm offering the invitation. It's always open. If you are a liberal, and maybe you listen because you hate me particularly. You probably like Pete and Flounder because they're, I'm obnoxious. I'm a dirty, rotten scumbag, and I know it, and I'm not changing. So you may hate my guts, but you may listen just to keep a track of what we're doing and where we're going. So it's fine. If you are a liberal who voted repeatedly for these freaking leftists and who had supported an open border, who had supported, well, put it this way. If you were a liberal who voted against Donald Trump, if you hated Donald Trump, called him a racist because of wanting to close the border, that it was offensive, that it was racist, that it was anti-American, that it was not allowing people to seek a better life. If you were in favor of the open border, how do you feel now? And are you willing to give us an apology for calling us racists? Like now President Biden's a racist, and Mayorkas is a racist, and Mayor Eric Adams of New York is a racist, and everybody else in the freaking administration's a racist. So are you going to apologize? Are you going to admit it? Or are you going to go? I know what's going to happen. You're going to say, well, those damn Republicans refused to come up with a border plan, so President Biden had to take it upon himself to fix the border by himself. God bless his leadership for finally coming across. I mean, they're going to say that they can credit for solving the border.
The same people that just destroyed $300 million worth of wall materials and sold them for $2 million. That's your money they just wasted. Right. And now going to turn around a few weeks later and say, we're going to start building the wall again.
That was months ago. We did the story. We said, oh, my God, they silently, quietly sold off all that border walls. I remember when they stopped building the border wall, his first thing he did, all that material was stacking up and it was getting rotten and mildew and it wasn't going anywhere. So they said, hell, let's just get rid of it. So they sold it. $300 million worth for $2 million. And now that's gone, and now they got to buy all kinds of stuff again to start over. I mean, I'm so angry about this. You owe us an apology. 3 years. All right, and now, and we got another whole segment now. And by the way, Donald Trump, did you hear this at the top of the hour news? Donald Trump apparently is going to Washington on Tuesday to address the Republican caucus. Anyway, now another major, incredible segment after blasting President Mass Murderer, their showers with daughter, is on going after Matt Gaetz. Holy smokes.
How dare he?
I mean, even that, like Pete keeps saying, they're eating their own. I mean, this is what Republicans do, and now they're doing it again. Republicans are basically slandering and libeling Matt Gaetz so that he'll never get over the comments about him. And and it's just why? I mean, I don't get it.
And they're bringing up the old thing. Once again, a conservative is being attacked by women.
Yeah.
And they're using women and stuff he's done in the past with women to attack another conservative. And this time it's conservatives allegedly doing it.
Yeah. But let's remember President Sticky Finger himself was charged with his own, basic forcible sexual rapish behavior with one of his own staff members. And when he did it to her, she said, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I thought you liked me."
Yeah.
Unquote.
Got away with it.
Got away with that. So we got that. Also, Letitia James is accusing Donald Trump. He's accusing her, the Attorney General of New York. We got a whole thing on that. I don't know whether it was, I guess it isn't covered anywhere else. Have you seen any of the coverage on Senator Goldbar Bob's Menendez's wife running over and killing a pedestrian? Has anybody covered that other than J.C. Waters last night on Fox? Or Fox News, anybody else on it. Apparently she got away with it, and the fix was in because they found out who she was and had some friends come to the scene, and they let her go. No breathalyzer. She ran over and killed a guy. She was in her car, ran over a pedestrian who was jaywalking.
Well, in her defense, she had taken some Ambien earlier.
Oh, well, all right, in that case. Sorry. I never said it was a car that I killed that guy. Might have started with the car thing, but I didn't say I had to get out of the car and settle it.
Now you're changing your story.
Maybe some memories are coming back.
Okay, Queen Elizabeth. Memories kicking back.
Thank God we can't remember the year or the location.
I may have killed a guy.
310. Also, the Girl Scout cookies. Holy moly, what's going on here? And by the way, I mean, I don't get it. Well, I'm going to read you this story. Pete found this story, and I read it, and I said, wait a minute. And we both had the exact same reaction after reading the full story because it sounded like one thing entirely, and then it came into another saying, well, this is, you should have realized. I mean, just do the right thing. Yeah. Anyway, it's astounding.
Either the Girl Scouts who run them are idiots.
They're idiots.
Or they're anti-capitalists.
Well, you would be both. You would be both. To do that, you'd have to be both.
Plus, attached to that, one of the greatest pieces of sound ever associated with the Girl Scout cookies.
The Girl Scout cookies. Also, the white trash in the White House has finally sent commander somewhere else. They got rid of their doggy because they were just white. I mean, they're a step above Michael Vick and dog fighting, as far as I'm concerned. Have absolutely no responsibility for taking care of a family pet. It's a dog. A dog's going to be a dog. Anyway, so they finally got rid of him. And
send him to the border.
We'll take him. We could take him. We could have a company dog.
A company dog.
Absolutely. But we'll take him. Absolutely, we could do that. My God. All right, 311. Also, geez, we got so many other things. A minister, a pastor in Minnesota has sparked a debate about, he said, quote, he was in the pulpit, Sunday church service. He's a Baptist theologian, pastor, and chancellor of a Bethlehem College and Seminary in Minneapolis. So he's a religious guy, pastor, in the pulpit. Quote, can we reassess whether Sunday coffee sipping in the sanctuary really fits? Let us offer to God acceptable worship, reverence, and awe. And then he says people are bringing coffee into the church services and sipping coffee during the church service.
No.
Well, okay, now you know more about. Pete and I are both ordained ministers,
yes,
and we have we're slightly different denominations, but still
we have denominational differences.
Fred's Church is one thing that I'm not a member of the Fred's Church, but we have a whole different thing. Anyway, no, I've got my World Christianship membership here.
Card here.
I have a card. I have a membership card. Anyway, drinking coffee during the church service. And by the way, if you're Catholic, you're breaking the whole thing.
All right, here we go. Mine's laminated, by the way.
Well,
is yours laminated?
Well, let's just find out.
I am a preacher at the Christian Harvest Church World Headquarters in North Texas City, Texas.
Well, I got to find mine.
My credential of ministry right here.
Oh, here we go. Oh, that's my Blue Knights International.
I also have a parking pass. Do you have a parking pass?
No, I don't. I need to get one of those.
I do have a parking pass. Laminated.
World Christianship Ministries, Reverend Kim Peterson, minister. For another $80, I could have been a bishop. Anyway, but it's laminated. I got the whole thing. I also have my Costco card.
Okay.
My thing. Anyway.
I got my Kroger. My dad's Kroger card.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, 3:30. Anyway, we got a million things.
That's one thing we'll do. We're all sitting here, all three of us, and we'll divulge our billfolds and what we have in there.
Well, there's not much left anymore. Anyway, 3:13. Also, we got Flounders Funnies, and we've got a couple of special funny things for some anniversaries coming up for you that Flounders found for us, and a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll talk Holy Crap at Sports. And
Amanda made a video of us. I don't know where she put it.
Well, yeah, that'll be coming up somewhere.
It's on the line.
Oh, it is up now?
The line.
And where do they find that to go look at?
Any of our social media sites. So extra Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, all that jazz.
Excellent. 314 with a Kimmer Pete and Flounder on 106.3. Look out. I used to like these silly little songs by the Partridge Family and all these groups back then. Play a little everything. There you go. David Cassidy. To my brain. I forgot the word, but it's a rock and roll version of different words. I think I love you. David Cassidy. I used to love the Partridge Family. That naughty little sister girl. What was her name?
Susan
Day. Oh, God, with a little dimple chin love button there. Every girl with a little love button on her chin is hot.
The long straight hair.
God, help me. Anyway, on this day, and by the way, his own mother, Shirley Jones, married to David what's her name, Cassidy, who died, set himself on fire. Didn't he set himself on fire?
No, he was smoking and he passed out and set the sofa on.
Yeah. And what was I forgot his name. Jack Cassidy. No, not Jack.
Yes, it was Jack Cassidy.
Jack Cassidy? Okay.
How much?
Anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, and David Cassidy's mother, Shirley Jones, actually did confirm once that he was particularly well endowed. All his friends called him Donk, as in donkey. Donkey Kong kind of deal. And his mother said, yeah, he was, and apparently her husband, Jack Cassidy, was the same way. Apparently, but to admit, to have that be public knowledge is amazing. Anyway, David Cassidy filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Sony because he hadn't been paid for the royalties of the Partridge Family for stuff, images of merchandise, lunch boxes, magazines, board games. He said it's just a matter of being fair and doing the right thing. Be fair, don't be greedy, be genuine. And then he died young.
Yeah, he did.
Cancer or prostate cancer or something, I forgot. Anyway, quick birthday of note. But I'm on mine now. Here we go. Karen Allen, who was Marion Ravenwood in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Karen Allen is 72, and she lives in the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts near James Taylor. Both of them live in Stockbridge, and I used to go to Norman Rockwell's museum there as a young boy.
How many times did you go to Norman Rockwell's museum?
Well, I don't think it's important that I keep mentioning something about me because I know how you guys are keeping track. Who just blasted me the other day for something about the marathon? Because I ran a marathon with Mackie Showstone, trained me to run a marathon. I've told that story maybe 5 times in 20 years, and this guy calls in. Dennis.
No. Today, I stopped by and met our fan.
Yeah. Up at the
Glenn.
Up at the
O'Reilly Auto Parts in Jasper. I dropped by, surprised him. Nice guy. He wanted a hug, which you don't get very often these days. It was very nice. No. And we started talking, and he pointed out that he has pretty much memorized the Mickey Schulstein marathon story.
Mackie Showstone.
Whatever.
Well, he trained the heavyweight champion of the world, and I was his first guinea pig. Oh, my God. It's important. It's a major thing.
And he says he's heard it a few times.
Well, then stop listening every minute.
No.
How am I supposed to be able to repeat stories if you listen all the time? But what about the Kimmer?
You're the only talk show host in America that just told someone to stop listening.
We got to make room for somebody new.
No, we don't.
That's not how it works.
No.
Anyway, 321. All right, we got actual stuff, I promise. But just in right now, they're showing the video again in the news too. A suspect is arrested in that unprovoked stabbing death in New York City. You may have seen the video. I hope you have and can react to this. A poet and activist named Ryan Carson was with his terrified girlfriend after they left a wedding on Long Island, and an 18-year-old scuzzbag named Brian Dowling stabbed him to death. Right there in front of his girlfriend, sitting on a bench. The guy tried to push him away. The footage shows a couple walking in the direction of the suspect, who turns around and yells, "What the blank are you looking at?" He says, softly replying, "I'm not looking at anything, sir." Steps between this crazy man and his girlfriend. The scumbag 18-year-old says, "I'll kill you." The guy holds up his hand and says, "Chill, chill." The scumbag pulls a knife, pursues him, tumbles over the bench he'd been sitting on, stabs him 3 times. Then he rushes at the woman, spits on her, runs back to the man he just stabbed, then kicks him as he's dying on the freaking sidewalk. The suspect's girlfriend appears in the frame and says, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." He told police, she told the police he tossed a knife on a pile of trash and then went back and got it. The detectives, they had identified the suspect, trying to figure out what the deal was. Stabbed him, spit on her. Policy solutions. Well, it doesn't say whether he's mentally ill or mommy didn't hug him, and maybe she smoked cigarettes when she was pregnant. So God forbid you put him in jail or anything.
Society's to blame.
And by the way, do you think this is his first crime?
Yeah.
Let's guess. Whether you think this 18-year-old kid stabbed a man to death in front of his girlfriend in broad daylight, and then spit on the girl and kicked the dead guy in the body when he's laying dying on the sidewalk.
But here's the mindset up there. It's New York City, right?
Yeah.
Liberals. This guy was a poet.
That's
he was
right.
a community activist.
Yeah.
They got a video of him screaming through a megaphone about injustice and social justice and all that. His friend said, well, he'd feel sorry for the young man who stabbed him to death.
Please.
Okay, there's turn your other cheek, but you don't turn the other cheek when they're going to kill you.
No, I mean,
they're stupid. They're just there's no sense of self-preservation left in them.
I don't understand any of it. And this guy, if you saw the video, if you haven't seen the video, Google it. You need to see the video to see what. I mean, we're just looking at it again. It's unbelievable. And these are the same, these are the same cities. God forbid they have enough police on the street or, activities and crime prevention activities. And, well, I mean, you know the issues.
It's gotten to the point
defund
where,
the police, and here we are. The Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and defund the police ever since the election because of Donald Trump, because of the hatred for Donald Trump. And they blamed everything on him, including a stupid George Floyd, who was a career criminal who fought the police, and they subdued him, and he died of a drug overdose. And ever since then, Putty Tat and all the liberals have been doing this for years, ever since then, and the country's been destroyed for 3 stinking years, and this is a result of it. And now you're seeing it. And now all of a sudden, well, we have to stop this border stuff here because there are too many people there. The border's open. Oh, really? I mean, all of a sudden they realize, gee, something's wrong here. All of a sudden they realize, gee, there's violent crime in America. All of a sudden black guys in leadership are saying, we have a crime problem here. We have to stop this sheltering in place law. We don't even want to take the poor brown people coming in anymore, the crime elements. You stinking phonies. This is what you got.
They won't admit they were wrong. They will never admit they were wrong about crime or the border or the wall or anything. They just move. Well, we need to move on. We're moving on now. That's what they always say to the next thing they're wrong about.
I hope. I know it's going to happen. The Democrats are going to claim credit for President Scumbag Showers with Daughter, who's going to close the border because he went on to change all the rules. In fact, we'll talk about. Let's tell exactly what he's doing. We're going to play these sound bites every hour. Flounder, we're going to play all 3 of these sound bites right here in a row. The Biden administration now, quote, paving the way for construction of a new wall along the southern border in Texas, waiving more than a dozen federal laws, quote, in a stark reversal of its previous stance on the physical barrier. That scumbag Mayorkas, the Department of Homeland Security, is now saying, well, there's an acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border of the United States to prevent unlawful entries into the United States. And they're now saying that Donald Trump was right. Flounder, let's remember, here's what the Democrats first said when Donald Trump wanted to build the wall and close the border.
We will not build a wall.
Walls don't work.
A racist and xenophobic wall.
We spent years investing in a faulty border wall that was never going to be an effective mechanism.
There will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration.
It would waste taxpayer dollars on an ineffective wall. Again, an ineffective wall that can't even withstand heavy winds.
We know that walls don't work, that they don't stop drugs, that they don't stop migration.
A wall is an immorality. It's not who we are as a nation.
There you go.
We do not agree with the building of the wall.
White racist, yeah. Okay, well, there you are. Democrats have all, from the beginning, and they were all unanimous. And by the way, if you refuse to stop, put it the other way, if you assist an illegal alien from coming into America, you've committed a federal crime. They all were guilty of federal crimes. Flounder, if you would, here's President Scuzzbucket sleeps with daughter. Showers with daughter. As far as we know, that's where it stopped. Not really sure. Talking about the issue of the border wall.
There will not be another foot of wall.
One question on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what was appropriated. I can't stop that.
Do you believe the border wall works?
No. Okay.
Do you believe the wall works? No. So and frankly, he said that because he's trapped and he couldn't figure out a way to get out of it. And he had to admit, well, okay, we got to build the wall. But then he still blamed Republicans, saying I have to use certain money. What a crock. I mean, it's just, and again, they're going to claim credit for it. And I please God. By the way, is there another soundbite or did I misconfuse? Is this, I think those two maybe.
Those two are combined.
Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, which is fine. Anyway, but he said, do you believe the wall works? He said, no.
I mean, so why are you doing
it? For political reasons, because they're going to lose. And now he has the opportunity to say, well, even though I think this is the wrong thing to do, we need to do it. I mean, they're trapped.
Where are they going to lose?
Exactly.
Did any Democrats get voted out of office because being wrong on COVID for 3 years?
That's right.
None of them.
It won't make a difference. And again, if you're a liberal, I would really, honest to Pete, I would love to have you call in, and Pete and Flounder and everybody else, I would love to have you call in 404-741-1230 and tell me now today, after all that, we're going to play more. We have more stuff. We'll talk about the gangs here coming up in a second, right after a break. I'm running out of time. Donald Trump responding to it, the attack, the invasion. Mayorkas down there, the mayor of New York's down there. I mean, it's unbelievable. I would love to hear from a liberal who says, or to tell, have you changed your mind? How do you feel about your party now and what their stance was before and what's happened to America and whether, therefore, you have to blame them for allowing the border to be so open? Are you willing to blame the Democrats, and are you willing to apologize to the rest of us who knew it was the wrong thing to do and Donald Trump was right? Will you admit it? Or will it make any difference? No. And I know what the answer is. All right. I mean, I realize it's depressing.
We hate
It's
Trump.
so depressing.
We hate bad tweets.
And again, Georgia's a liberal state where you still have two liberal senators, two socialist Marxists, and I'll bet this next election, I think, isn't one of them up this next election?
No.
Is it another 2 years? Oh, my God, another 3 years. It'd be 26.
More. Could be 4.
It'd be 2026. No, I think it's... No, we just had one 2 years ago, so it'd be 4 years. But 2 years before that, so I don't know. I guess I probably could have looked it up. 3:30. I got off my back. Give her feed Flounder. Look out, staff. Hello. 3:45. 3:35. I was off by 10 minutes. I'm just looking at the clock. Hard to believe. Look out. Here we go. I don't like this chair. It's not a good chair. You're in my chair. The chair I use when I'm over there.
Take the damn chair.
I know. I'm not changing now. It's too late. 3:35. It's only me. It's only the Kipper with Pete Davis and Flounder. We got a million things going on, including the Who, and it was on this day in 1990. Well, let's play this part. Here we go. It was on this day, 1999, Roger Daltrey announced the Who were reforming. They made their first performance in Las Vegas October 29th on this day in 1999. The show was also to be broadcast live on the internet. And I don't know what they meant by reforming. Do you know what that means?
Well, they did their last concert in Toronto back in the 80s, and then they said they weren't going to do that again. Then they did it again, and then
but it's the same.
John died, and they didn't know what to do after that. I mean, they've come back several times.
I got you. It sounded like they were maybe thinking about doing a new kind of sound or something, and it didn't sound like it to me. I don't know. I don't know much about their history, to be honest with you. Let's see. Well, I'm sorry. I mean,
I didn't say anything.
I know how disappointing that is. The idiot Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, that moron.
Who I used to love to watch him when he's talking about astronomy and the stars and the galaxy. I mean, I really respected him. I thought he knew what he was talking about, and I thought, boy, this is amazing. And I couldn't get enough of that kind of, the black holes and where all came from the light from the galaxy, the sun, the stuff we can't understand. And apparently he does, or he pretends to, or whatever. But then he turns out to be such a jerk.
He's not only a jerk, but he's an idiot liberal is what he is.
Yeah, he's just a hater and a
woke.
Yeah, anyway. In history, I have a couple of American Indian historical notes. I shall reveal one.
Native American, indigenous people?
I call them American Indians because that's what they're called. And I shall read to this now. I think a lot of them do, my friend.
I don't think so.
I believe I just posted a picture last week of the American Indian Museum.
I think they
even call themselves the American Indian Museum. Thank you.
They like to be called by what tribe they are.
In 1877, on this day, Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce, or Perce. It's actually Pierce, but they call it Perce. It's actually how it's pronounced.
Perce.
It's the Nez Perce. Indians surrendered to the evil, conniving white man with the words. Do you know the words? I'll bet you do.
I will fight no more.
Forever.
I will fight no more forever.
Fight no more forever.
There's a great movie about that back in the 70s. Did you ever look at the map of what he did? He took a tribe of men, women, and children starving and avoided and outflanked the U.S. military.
For years.
For a long time. And almost got to Canada. Almost got away.
Yeah. And as it happened, they surrounded him. They finally,
they couldn't go anymore.
It was just over. It was just done. And he said, "I will fight no more forever."
What we did to them?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The disease in the blankets and stuff. I mean, that was real, apparently. Was it tuberculosis?
Smallpox.
Yeah, smallpox.
Okay, if you don't turn that phone off, I'm gonna insert it somewhere.
I turned it off. My phone's off. That's not my phone.
It's vibrating.
Oh, you heard? I didn't hear.
It's vibrating on the table.
Oh, my God.
I can hear it when I'm up in the mountains of Macon. I can hear your phone go off. In fact, there are times that I will text you just to hear your phone go off in the background.
There's nothing there. Nothing happened.
Well, I'll turn it off.
Anyway, it is off. All right. 3:38. God, where were we?
Girl Scout.
Let's do that. Do that. We have more. We have more on the border. And we have more on reaction on President's stupid face. But we've been thinking about it. In fact, two food things. I brought him with me today. I'm holding up from our YouTube fans. I brought it with me today. It's in the wrong case. Yeah. Actually, this is pretty funny. As a spur of the moment purchase occasionally at the store when I'm out. A couple of weeks ago, I bought a 4-pack of glass bottles of cream soda, IBC cream soda.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Now, the other day, I was in the store and I bought a 4-pack of cans of Dr. Brown's original cream soda.
That's pretty good too.
That's pretty good too. The problem is, I realized when I got home and opened one and started drinking it, I bought the diet by mistake.
Oh, no.
It's the original cream soda, and it says diet, and I didn't see the word diet, and so I'm not drinking it. So I've got 3 cans of Dr. Brown's cream soda, and you guys, if you want them, they're yours.
As it goes, diet. That's not a bad diet, but who wants to drink diet?
Flounder, are you how about Miss Veronica? Is she a cream soda diet? She's probably a diet chick as a girl.
Okay, if he takes that to his girlfriend and says, here, I got something for you, and it says diet on it.
Now, maybe she's listening. If she calls you and says, I'd love that diet soda, and you
what
can
are you
take
trying to insinuate? That's what you'll hear.
Well, no. See, she's going to have to initiate it. Maybe she's listening. Miss Veronica, I have some diet cream soda here.
She
Dr.
doesn't
Brown.
need anything diet.
I'm just saying she maybe likes it. Maybe that's her favorite drink. God, you guys are unbelievable.
That's what he said. It said it's not. No, it's not.
Oh,
and if it was, she would admit it.
You know what? I'm going to throw it in the freaking garbage.
No, put it over there.
Now in the garbage.
If you put
it right in the garbage,
put it over there in the
trash.
Put it over to the 6A the fan. They'll drink it.
My God.
Mikey will drink. Mike drinks anything.
You people are just unbelievable.
Is there anyone named Mike over there?
God. What?
Yeah, 2. There's 2.
What?
There's 2 people named Mike over there?
Oh, jeez. What?
There's one in promotions and one in engineering.
What? They want this?
Oh, well, yeah, we know Mike.
And then there's Mike Key over in
That's true, Mike Key. I was thinking about over there on the air. No, I don't think so.
They've already said they want this?
No, but someone will drink it.
Yeah, if you put that out in the bull pit.
Well, I'm not touching it. I'm leaving it. I'm not having another thing to do later.
Anyway, Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, God. Girl Scout cookies. All right, hold on a second. Something's going on here, and Pete and I both don't understand. 3:41 on the clock.
Well, how much is that? How long is the cut?
We got plenty of time. We're good.
We got 4 minutes. We can go as long as we want. We don't have to quit at 45.
The cut's about 2 minutes.
But we got
That's
time.
fine. We got time.
This isn't a hard break.
We can go late. It's our show.
Do it then.
I mean, the break says 45, but if I want to break at 48, I'll break at 48, and we'll make up for it later. It's all going to get done.
You're wasting time.
I can do whatever I want. The Girl Scouts announced some time ago that they were releasing a brand new flavor. And it was called Raspberry Rally.
Ooh, that sounds
Raspberry filling with a chocolate coating.
Oh, yeah.
And unlike the Girl Scouts' most popular cookies, though, the fruity treat, which was launched in February, was only available for sale online.
Huh.
Well, here's what happened. Again, new flavor, Raspberry Rally. The cookies sold out. From all the official retailers, cookies began popping up for resale at inflated prices in a, quote, unauthorized seller market on eBay. The Girl Scout cookies previously been priced at $5 a pack. For the Raspberry Rally cookies popped up on eBay being sold for $15 or $20 or $180 for 10 of them. So it went from $5 to $18 or even more. A listing for Raspberry Rally cookies remains on the auction site eBay, where a single box is priced now at a staggering $200. Well, the Girl Scouts started slamming the unauthorized resale of the cookies, saying people are taking advantage of the cookies' incredible popularity. Quote, if you're buying these cookies at a huge markup, you should be instead using that money to support girls by buying other varieties or supporting the program in other ways. Now, 6 months later, the organizations announced that the viral flavor will not be returning. Although it stopped short of blaming the resale scandal for its decision to no longer make it, they're prioritizing supplying our classic varieties, all the other ones. And a spokesman for eBay says, wait a minute, we encourage users to support local Girl Scouts, but we didn't do anything wrong. But in other words, the Girl Scouts were so upset that people were reselling their product that they're not going to make it anymore because it was so popular. And at first, thing I said was, wait a minute, Pete gave me the story first. He did the story first. He's sitting there silently. I'm reading the story to myself. And I look at Pete and I said, are you blanking me? I said, well, let me get this straight. The Girl Scouts have made a cookie that's so popular, they're going to stop selling it. What the hell is the matter with you?
What kind of lesson is that for the girls?
Oh, my God. Well, first of all, it's a thing for families. And I don't, what kind of lesson are you teaching? For one, about entrepreneurship,
right?
And again, what's wrong with if a girl, a Girl Scout orders, 50 boxes of cookies and only sells 30 of them, and then the whole thing is over. If 2 months later she wants to have a sale like a lemonade stand and also selling her Girl Scout cookies for $1, what's the freaking problem? I mean, it's her cookies.
There is no problem.
There is no problem. You can do whatever you want with them. If you buy them, you can resell them. And, it's not like scalping tickets at the freaking Braves game, I mean, how dumb can you be to say, well, they're so popular, we're going to stop making them?
I mean, what possible reason? We'll teach you people buying our cookies.
Yeah, see if we ever do this again.
The cheapest, $1, $33.
Holy moly.
And they look good, too.
I mean, honestly,
do we have time?
What possible sense does it make?
Do we have time to play the cut now? Because we have gone a little long.
We're about to go to break.
I knew it. Let's go to break and come back and play it afterwards so we don't feel rushed.
Excellent. The Girl Scout update with the Kimmer Pete and Flounder. Also, more President Scumbag, the Showers with Daughter coming up reaction, and they're going after Matt Gaetz. And wait do you believe what even his own party saying about him. Holy cow. Talk about slander. Plus, Flounder's Funnies and a lot of stuff. It's 3:45 with the Kimmer Pete and Flounder. There you go. Cookie then feet. I got it.
Cookie before feet.
Cookie before feet. All right, 10 before 4. 10 before. Now, they don't know what we're doing off camera, off mic, right? They don't have no idea, right? The founder.
Neither do I.
Okay, good. That's the way we like it.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, there you go. I knew nothing. I wasn't even here that weekend, Your Honor. Hell, I never even knew her. In 1989, Motley Crue played a warm-up show for their forthcoming Dr. Feelgood tour at Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood. Under their pseudonym, they were playing called The Foreskins. The show was also used for the filming of their next video, Kickstart My Heart, Motley Crue. And again, I will never forget when I had my Harleys running. I still have my chopper, but it's dead. It needs a new engine. Anyway, back when I was riding my Harleys, I remember I lived near the amphitheater, and one night I was taking off a Saturday night or Sunday night, whatever, Sunday night, and I was driving along, and I saw all these people lined up for the concert, and they were all wearing, leather doodads and spike things. So I said, boy, there's a Motley Crue. And sure enough, it was a Motley Crue. Oh, by the way, Flounder, did you see the crowd last night going home? Holy smokes.
Freak Central.
Oh, man. It was, did you warn me that it was,
it's some teenage girl, I think, or I don't know if she's a teenager anymore, but she transitioned when she was a teenager.
Yeah, like a 14 or 15-year-old singer.
Boy, girl?
A boy, girl, or anyway, was
so, yeah.
Some kind of transition artist. I never saw a name on the.
I probably saw at least a dozen in line when I was leaving.
Oh my God!
I put my sunglasses on immediately.
Well, now what I like to do is when it's the last couple of times when it was country girls and skirts and boots and stuff like that, I would take videos and talk to them and do a thing and hope you have a good time, stuff like that. But I went out there last night and I saw all these people in states of undress with leather and spurs and whips. And tattoo. I was afraid to bring out my phone. I'm wearing a Marine Corps cover, or a hat to call it a cover, and a Marine Corps logo on my shirt. And I'll guarantee you, if I'd pull out my phone to try to start taking video of that crowd last night, they'd have turned on me. They did not look like they wanted to be messed with at all. Very straight. All right, 3:52. I will put that way, this stuff. Now, the Girl Scouts. And then we got so many more funny things to know. And then, in fact, popping up on my stupid phone. Okay, the Girl Scouts had a flavor they've released, Raspberry Rally, that was so popular that people were reselling it to make money. Girl Scouts got so mad they're saying we're not going to sell it anymore because it's so good.
How dare you?
We're selling so much of it is so good that we're just going to stop selling it. You idiots. I don't get it. I don't get anything about that kind of a lesson. Anyway,
the only theory I have is they're trying to build up so much anticipation that after a few months they say, oh, okay, we're going to bring it back. Kind of like Coke, new Coke, stuff like that.
Yeah, but they could do it after a week. They should come out tomorrow. I'm sorry, I had a thing there. My balls dropped. They should come out tomorrow and say, okay, that was stupid, and from now we're going to make as much of it as we can and buy it all. And they will.
I know.
But why wouldn't they do that? What's the Girl Scouts? What's the matter with these people?
So anyway, that reminded me, and this is weird because this story popped up, but last night I was going through YouTube as I go down the rabbit hole, and this thing popped up from Detroit. It was a news station in Detroit several years ago. Yeah. This gentleman is no longer with us. He was a news anchor, and basically he wanted to talk to people about Girl Scout cookies, but his management would not let him.
Really?
In fact, we'll play it right now.
Oh, my goodness.
We have very strict policies in the Channel 7 News Department. The Girl Scouts called and said, Bill, it's that time of year again. Cookies, the little girls will start knocking on doors this Friday through March 23rd. Could you give us a little plug? It's for the Girl Scouts in Wayne, Oakland, Livingston, Monroe, and Macomb County. About 50,000 little girls. We need your help, big fella. Well, I'm sorry, ladies, but Channel 7 does not allow me to plug you, your pushy little scouts, or your cookies on news programs. I cannot tell Channel 7 viewers about your brand new pecan shorties made of rich shortbread, slow baked to perfection with crisp pecans, or those mouth-watering chocolate chunk drops of heaven that literally melt in your mouth. Boss says I can't describe the tagalongs, two marvelous tastes in one. Real peanut butter smothered in rich, vulgar, almost sexy chocolate. No, the boss rule, don't mention bonds, those luscious. What are these? Samoas. They're vanilla numbers rolled in toasted coconut. You do that and you'll be fired. No Billy at 5 or 11. It'll be Dana and Robbie if you mention those sinfully delectable little trefoils. Those light, thick shortbreads. And Mr. Barnes, management warned me, if you even hint about the thin mints, the extra crisp chocolate wonders covered with rich cocoa and then blended with the miraculous natural oil of peppermint, if you mention the thin mints, Barnes, Channel 7 will banish you to the Siberia of journalism. If you mention the cookies on the air, Billy, next Monday you will enter the slave labor market working as a copy boy for Bob Talbert. That would be even worse than editing yours truly at the Detroit News. So sorry, girls, I cannot mention your cookies. And that's the way the cookie crumbles on Channel 7 Action News at 5.
And the funny thing, while he's talking, the weather guy comes up and grabs all of the cookies and walks off. That's Bill Bond. So
yeah, very clever.
ABC Detroit.
Yeah, in fact, when I was in graduate school at Michigan State, I used to watch him on TV. I remember those. In fact, there was another guy up there too. Pretty funny. They used to be very clever guys. Here we go again. I'm going.
We got a phone call, by the way.
I'm just going through my phone again.
Well, before you do that, we have a phone call.
Well, let's take it. I love phone calls.
Walt,
you're on the radio. Thanks for calling, sir. With Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. What's up?
I got to go get a glass of milk after hearing about all the cooking.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, did you hear about the Rivian pickup trucks?
The what pickup truck?
Rivian
pickup truck. No, sir. No, what happened?
The second quarter of this year, each truck lost over $32,000.
What, in value, you mean? In sale price?
They sold them for $32,000 less than they had in them.
Electric ones.
Holy cow.
Is that what they are? Rivian?
Yeah, that's all electric, right?
That's the plant in Georgia.
Smart business.
I think I saw one on the street.
I see one here and there a little bit.
Seen one.
I think I've only seen one of those on the street. And so, I mean, how could this be successful? And didn't they just announce they're doing even more brakes for them or something? Or trying to up the manufacturing capacity or something? I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, they're building that plant, between Atlanta and Augusta there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an update on that. I think I was reading just recently.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
We're going. Thanks, man. Thank you. I really appreciate the call. They're going nuts. Now look at that. I tell you, something's going. Somebody did something in my phone. I swear, there's somebody living in my freaking attic up there where the air conditioning thing is. It's probably an FBI agent or Navy SEAL, and they do stuff. And somebody put my phone. All of a sudden, now there's a picture that popped up on my phone as I'm scrolling to see what's going on of my Facebook page. It's Ariana Grande with bare feet and Elizabeth Olsen with her bare feet just 5 minutes.
I wonder why those are on your phone.
Well, now wait, I didn't do anything. And by the way, Ariana Grande has very sexy feet, and Elizabeth Olsen does not.
Well, that's
so it's not like I'm. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Something happened, and all of a sudden, I scroll
I know exactly what happened. You've been on WikiFeet.
I know there is a week. There's an article in New Yorker magazine where a woman wrote about being part of WikiFeet.
You go on WikiFeet and you judge celebrities' feet.
Okay, all right.
Scoring.
Yeah.
All right. Well, The Onion decided to ask these celebrities what they thought of their scores.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston said, nice, a perfect 600 score. 1 point for every toe. Katy Perry said, not fair. That was taken first thing in the morning and my feet had not put on makeup yet. Helen Mirren, those aren't even my real feet. That's how good of an actress I am. Giselle Bundchen, ugh, don't bring it up. It's the reason Tom and I got divorced. I walked in on him rating mine average. Crystal the Monkey, I think it's technically bestiality for me to score above a 2.5. Eep, eep. And Tom Cruise, wouldn't you like to know? Well, the Church of Scientology has shielded my feet for decades.
Oh, mercy.
And finally, Dr. Scholl himself weighed in.
He weighed in, the doctor.
I guess I kind of brought this on myself.
Well, apparently you did, sir. Honestly, it's a damned, and it's all of a sudden this whole feet thing is all over the place. Remember, it was the girl in the movie where they're all dressed in pink, the famous Barbie movie. Margot Robbie. All of a sudden, her feet are everywhere, and she even said people are now asking her for pictures of her feet.
Feet don't fail me now.
Unbelievable. Anyways, coming up on 4 o'clock with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and it's another defeated procedure as we continue along the
toe the line, my friend.
Oh, my God. Thank you. I got some jam here somewhere. goes. It's only me. It's only the Killer with Pete Davidson, Philander, 403. And Stevie Wonder, on this day, 1975, appeared at the Wonder Dream concert in Kingston, Jamaica. It was an Institute for the Blind benefit concert.
Why?
Excuse me?
Oh,
yeah. Why did he go?
Wow.
Let's see. He appeared along with Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Waller. Is that Whaler or Waller?
Whaler. Man, must have been a sight to see.
I'm sorry. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh.
Bunny Waller?
I guess he felt his way clear with Bunny Whaler.
A nice Jewish boy showed up.
The three original Whalers performing together for the last time. Well, again, I don't know the Whalers. I guess that's about Bob Marley thing. Well, you know, so sue me. I'm sorry. Everybody can eat me. How about that? Get off my back. Not a freaking disc jockey. You look like my name is Tug to you, mister? I don't know anything about music with those guys. By the way, our birthdays include my daughter Jennifer, who's 19 today.
No, she's not.
My daughter Jennifer was born on this day 19 years ago when she gave up heroin and cocaine. Yes, the old speedball cocktail. She was actually in that stuff for years. She had disappeared for years. She was in jail a couple of times. And she's been clean and sober. And God bless her, a role model and a hero to many for 19 years today. Happy birthday, sweetie. Sir Bob Geldof is 72 today. Organized Live 8 and Live 8, both of which were far more successful than his music career with the Boomtown Rats, it says here. So
they had a few hits.
That's just what it says here. I don't like Mondays. I don't like Mondays. That was a big one. And I mentioned earlier in the show that in 1877, Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce Indians surrendered I Will Fight No More Forever. That was 1877. In 1813, part of the War of 1812, 1813, Chief Tecumseh of the Shawnee Indians was killed in the Battle of the Thames when revolutionary troops defeated the British and their Indian allies.
That was up around Michigan, wasn't it?
1813. I believe the Thames was the Upper Peninsula or somewhere near.
The Upers?
The Upers, yep. The Upers.
I always thought Tecumseh was Seminole.
Said Shawnee in my history thing.
Who was the famous Seminole chief? I thought that was Florida. Tecumseh, too.
No,
yeah, I know.
I don't know. I guess we could probably find out. Anyway, 406. By the way, if you just joined us, we're going to be playing some more sound bites again about this whole border thing. First of all, in case you haven't understood how bad it has gotten in the border, and again, you dirty, stinking, lying liberals who allowed this to happen for 3 years, and now all of a sudden you're saying we need to close the border. Well, duh. You've admitted that Donald Trump was right all along, and you admitted that you owe us a freaking apology. Every one of you who was supporting this open border crap in order to get more liberals and Democrats coming into the country did it on purpose. And now your own people are saying, oh, this was wrong. We've got to stop it. You have to have closed the border finally after you were the ones who called us racist because we didn't want little brown people coming across the border. So you called us racist and said the right thing to do was to let them all in, which you did. And now you're saying it's the wrong thing to do. We got to stop it. So screw you, you freaking phony hypocrites. Why do you keep voting Democrat? Well, here's how bad it is. The Texas invasion of a Mexican cartel island is crawling with gang members ringed with sniper nests inside American territory in Texas. And it's not the federal Gestapo investigation on the side of the liberals in this country that's been responsible for the coup attempt against Donald Trump for the last many years. It was the Texas Rangers briefing their heavily armed invasion force ready to go get them. It's a remote 170-acre Mexican drug cartel-controlled island in the middle of the Rio Grande River, overlooked by sniper nests and potentially booby-trapped by the cartels in American territory. Border Patrol agents have been overwhelmed by the mass migration. We just saw pictures of them cutting the barbed wire so that people could get in not too long ago. And now there's the question of this, this activity at this freaking island. The Border Patrolmen are saying members have been arrested in the same area, armed and dressed in tactical gear. It's called an island of death. They're dangerous people there, fighting against the cartels, cashing in on the burgeoning human smuggling business. Hundreds of migrants every night cross through that area with the cartels blending in with them. The Texas Rangers are the ones who have to go try to get them and worry about they know where the sniper nests are.
The Mexican cartel felt so safe that they could do that in Texas. That's Joe Biden's America.
Yeah. After the islands be constantly patrolled as if it were a war zone now, a few think it'll do much to encourage the cartels to do anything else. The cartels, according to a Border Patrol guy, the cartels will still be able to move whatever commodity north or south. It's going to be a speed bump for them. They have the resources and the money and the time. So they have their own islands with sniper nests and everything else to help get their people. Blow them up.
What is the federal government's role if not to protect us and protect our borders? What complete, utter failure from Afghanistan to the economy to the border. Yeah. And you know what? Most of it planned by them. Yeah. They want this to fail.
Yeah. And by the way, I got a phone. I'm finding my.
Where's my froggy?
My Donald
Trump. Where's my froggy?
Trying to find my Donald Trump border.
Damn your eyes.
Crap! It's in here somewhere. Anyway, I know I've got it here somewhere. Hold on, don't give up. Oh, here we go. Speaking of the border, Donald Trump says this.
What?
He has issued a vow. If reelected, I will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history and promise to begin a second term by immediately terminating every open border policy of the Biden administration, and they're all going away and going home. If I were president, my policy would be this. And, of course, now the Democrats are going to try to claim that they're solving the border problem. I would say if you come across our border, and if we can't stop you, we don't have the resources to stop you, when you come across the border, we give you your little packet with your toothbrush and a temporary something or other and a bag of toilet paper and some Kleenex, and then we put you on a bus and send you to an American Democrat city. Period. Right there. You don't spend any more time in America. You come across the border, we let you go to the bathroom, give you a Coke, and a little bag of pretzels and a toothbrush, and then put you on a bus and send you to the next American liberal city that has their sanctuary policy.
Every sanctuary city.
Every single one. And I swear to God, I mean, you come across the border. How do you do? Nice to see you. Welcome to America. Here's your packet. There's your bus.
Even give them a list. Give them a list. Say, these are sanctuary cities. Pick one you want to go to. Well, there's the bus to Tacoma right there.
Everyone who comes in, immediately give them a chance to go to the bathroom, maybe change a diaper on the kid, and put them on a bus.
Portland, Oregon for you?
I swear to God.
Right this way.
How incredible would that be? Can you imagine the interstate system of all the... And by the way, buses have special flags on them or something, like a UN flag or something,
New York flag,
an American flag with a cross. I mean, it's something to indicate that this, and have them by the thousands, bus after bus after bus. Oh my God, how hysterical would that be? You wanted them, you got them. And then they're going to say, well, we need federal help. Screw you. You didn't give Texas federal help, and now coming across the Texas border.
Fine when they were down in Texas.
This is unbelievable.
By the way, if you're listening around the country and you live in a town, a burg, a municipality, or a city that's being overrun and the services destroyed, your schools, your hospitals, everything being destroyed because there's too many illegal aliens, invaders have shown up, think a Democrat because they did this to you and they did it on purpose.
And not only have they not apologized to you or us for calling us names and doing it on purpose, now they're saying, well, we were wrong and Donald Trump was right. So how do you feel about your Democrats now? Why do you keep voting for these people? They haven't gotten anything right.
COVID to this.
From the shutdown, from the wokeness, from all of a sudden the gender business and the free speech committee they wanted to have to crack down the collusion with the Department of Justice for the elections. Oh my God!
Disinformation.
This country is not our country.
What they want a ministry of truth? A ministry of truth.
Yeah, and they almost got away with it. And just now, remember the federal judge said, well, the FBI's and collusion with the, Facebook.
You haven't even mentioned the fact they just caught the FBI basically targeting Trump supporters.
Yeah. In fact, here we're going to talk about not only going after Matt Gaetz, but Donald Trump supporters are already being targeted by the FBI for next year's election. They're calling it's a special program. I'll give you the name of it here in a second. In fact, the abbreviation is something like AC. It's AGAAVE. Anti-government, anti-authority, violent extremism from furtherance of ideological agendas.
That's what.
Those are MAGA Republicans.
Where can we join these groups?
Those are conservative voters. That's who the FBI is now targeting in a special policy. A special domestic terrorism policy group, Donald Trump supporters, are targeted for next year's election by the FBI.
If the FBI's against it, I'm for it.
They're asking for it. They're asking for it. 413 with the Kid Repeat and Flounder.
Cookies is what they're asking.
We'll be back. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Flounder, is anybody? There you go. 413. Oh, everything's good. Is this the Beach Boys?
No, Starbuck.
Well, I got this wrong because I got the Beach Boys. There we go. Did I miss something?
More marimba.
Tend to wave, get your wave out. The Beach Boys. Da da da. They gotta get your wave.
Yeah, what you want now?
Catch a wave and sitting on top of the world. Pete Davis will tell you about that. You said that's the most amazing experience you ever had in your life, even more than flying that stupid plane.
Well, it's different. That when you're flying on the air with a machine under you.
But as good as it gets.
But there you are control. When you have the whole power of the Pacific Ocean pushing you and you're on top of a 7-foot wave and you've mastered it for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And you're in control of it and you feel an ocean that goes back to Japan pushing. Yeah. And you see that beach coming up. And you feel the whole power that surges up from your feet all the way up through your body. Yeah. That is a feeling it's like endorphins go wild.
Yeah. I've never surfed where I stood up on a board and caught a big wave, but I have been on a surfboard in waves off Hawaii when I was on my R&R, so I got kind of the feeling, but it wasn't like I was standing and doing stuff in the wave or anything like that. So I can imagine that's got to be a very powerful feeling.
It's something that you can't describe, and it's why they go out there and risk themselves with sharks and dying in the waves. Yeah. Because it's so fun.
Yeah. Anyway, Flounder, I'm sorry I talked over your whole record here, sir. The Beach Boys, 1974, went to #1 on the album chart with Endless Summer, their second U.S. #1 for the Beach Boys. Quick birthday of a note on this day. Daniel Baldwin, the so-called burliest of the Baldwin brothers, is 63 today. Oopsie daisy. In fact, let's do one more. I got a lot of birthdays today. How about... I got some sports birthdays, Pete, coming up later. How about Jesse Eisenberg is 40. He's a guy who played in The Social Network, played Federer, what's it, Fetterman there, what's his name? Zuckerberg. Jesse Eisenberg, the actor, is 40. He was also in Now You See Me, Zombieland, and Batman vs. Superman.
He was Lex Luthor.
Oh, is that,
and not a good one. People didn't like it.
Well, no, he was great in Social Network. I mean, I think that was probably right on. Oh, I dropped my...
Oh, my God.
No, I got to get it.
We got a phone call.
All right, we got a phone call. Well, all right, then. Let's take our phone call.
Lori.
Hey, Lori, how you doing, baby? What's up with you today, doll?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good, sweetie. What's happening?
Well, I just want to wish Jennifer the happiest birthday ever.
Well, aren't you sweet? 19 years, clean and sober. She scared the crap out of us, and I felt I was a bad daddy because you had to do tough love, and you can't keep enabling her, and we kept bailing her out and stuff. And finally, she, God bless her, she's so strong, and I never would have thought that as a little kid when she was growing up and stuff. Yeah,
Kimmer.
Yeah.
People don't know what tough love is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a son that we had to do the same thing, and I was so degraded by people of what I did, but they'll never understand unless they walked in our shoes.
Yeah. Well, it's a horrible thing. It was a nightmare experience with her mother and me, and didn't know whether she was dead or alive. And I'll tell you, I remember.
But you know what I got out of it?
What?
When I used to drive the streets, I'd see like the prostitutes on the corner, and I'd kind of like, ooh. But when my son became a drug addict, he was walking on the street.
Yeah, he's on the corner. Yeah.
And my heart totally changed. There's a parent of that person that is hurting for that child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable, the pain.
Well, I will tell you this. I was in Brookhaven, standing in my living room, and my cell phone rang, and I had not heard of or about Jennifer. Her mother and I didn't know where she was and hadn't heard from her for a couple of years. And my cell phone rang, and I heard her say, "Daddy." And I will never forget that moment after you're alive. You're alive. You're alive.
Christmas in Mobile when it snowed. And I had a neighbor about 2 miles over called me and said, someone come through our field and they want to come home.
Wow.
And they brought our son to our house.
Wow.
And he was cold and hungry. So I know I feel the pain. So I'm so happy for her.
Well, let's get back to the happy part because here I am. Now he's going to mark it. Oh, you son of a bitch! It's now Pete Davis is going to mark. Pete Davis is going to mark on his chart that I'm weeping in the studio again because he's keeping track of every time I cry like a little girl.
That's okay, because I'm crying with you.
Well, thanks a lot, sweetie.
No, let's go something else.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The Democrats.
Yeah, God, can you believe this? And they're all there saying we got to close the border. Oh my God, you freaking phonies!
They're going to make money off of this. They're going to raise money to build a effing wall, and they're going to keep it and not build it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Lori, it's a disgrace. It's a scandal. It's a shame. It's degrading. It's anti-American. It's every negative thing you can think of is what they've been doing now for years, and they finally got outed, and they still owe us an apology.
We'll never get that, even about COVID. They're never going to admit it.
Nothing.
It's like, move on, move on.
Yeah, I know, baby.
I'm so sick of, and I'm with Pete. I love what Gates did.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but they got to blow this shit up.
Shake it up, baby. Hey, Flounder, hold it with a dumpo. Hey, Lori, thanks, sweetie. Off we go. All right, it's 4:26. All right, that was an interesting segment. What have you done now? You bastard. Kimmer's Cry. KKK. Kimmer's Cry.
We might want to work on the KKK part.
Glenn predicted this today. He said there was going to be another cry.
My God.
He was telling me a story, and he started to tear up. And I said, are you Marines a bunch of cry? No, I didn't say that.
Well, it's an emotional guy up there with O'Reilly and Jasper. Oh, Lord. Anyway, you can make fun of me all you want. I'm not changing, and I can't help it, and so that's who I am. And so, and that's honestly, that's why it's the silliest thing in the world. I don't waste a segment on this. Honest to goodness, I listened to Fleetwood Mac and some of the lyrics on these songs all of a sudden that I never appreciated 30 years ago. Or 50 years ago, and all of a sudden they're helping me deal with my whole life aspect. I mean, it's amazing. And again, because I'm an emotional wreck, and again, because I'm such an idiot, emotional thing is why I blew the last 30 years of my life because of stuff in my head. Anyway, now it's getting better. Flounder, do we have time to play that? We have two sound bites here that are very important about this. We'll play them every hour because if you haven't heard them, you need to. About this border wall and how these dirty, stinking, lying Democrats have now realized that Donald Trump was right and they're admitting it without saying it. First of all, Democrats telling us walls don't work.
We will not build a wall. Walls don't work.
A racist and xenophobic wall.
We spent years investing in a faulty border wall that was never going to be an effective mechanism.
There will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration.
It would waste taxpayer dollars on an ineffective wall. Again, an ineffective wall that can't even withstand heavy winds.
We know that walls don't work, that they don't stop drugs, that they don't stop migration.
A wall is an immorality. It's not who we are as a nation.
We do not agree with the building of the wall.
That was Mayorkas, who's now down in Mexico, telling him how we need to build a wall. Yeah, that dweeby little snot bag. If you look up smarmy in the dictionary, I swear to God, that's his picture next to it. And he's down there now trying to convince him that we have to come up with some kind of deal to build the freaking wall. And now President Showers' daughter has the balls to try to take credit and complain about Republicans not coming up with a border program so that he has to do it on his own. But listen to the end of this little comment with President Mass Murderer talking to the press today.
Answer one question on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
Do you believe the border wall works?
No. Okay.
Do you believe the border wall works? And he said no. And he claimed, well, I tried to appropriate the money. No, you didn't do anything, you dirty liar. And again, remember, several months ago, we did the story about how they sold $300 million worth of border wall materials, the actual stuff to build it, the steel, $300 million. They sold it to a scrap guy for $2 million.
Yeah.
To get rid of it.
Kind of got breaking news here. Flounder just saw that a guy named Frank Kern is a representative Republican of Oklahoma, says he is going to run for Speaker as well.
So he might enter his name in the ring.
Excellent. Well, we got 3.
The Babylon Bee says that AOC is asking why we need a House Speaker since everyone already has headphones.
Keeping in line with it. It's coming up on 4:30, and more. We got more of this whole. Oh, by the way, a former ESPN personality is going on TV with folks saying, this guy's got to go, the stupid president, and they're going after Matt Gaetz. Wait till you hear what they're calling him, saying about him now. Next with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. By the way, I'm not making this up. Kate Winslet showed up on my phone today with bare feet. It's her birthday. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm sorry, Flondo, the music. We'll take up music. Here we go. Yeah, I think of my love there of some kind. Led Zeppelin. Gotta give you my love, baby. There we go. 1970, Led Zeppelin 3 was released in the UK on Atlantic Records. It peaked at number 1, both American and U.S. charts. The album's been certified 6 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. U.S. sales more than 6 million copies. Well, Led Zeppelin, good for them. I think they're Hall of Famers, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say they're Hall of Famers.
Probably. Let's see. Birthdays include Steve Miller, The Joker, Fly Like an Eagle, Abracadabra. Steve Miller is 80.
He's coming back to town.
Can you believe that?
Sometime soon.
Is he still performing? Holy
at 80.
cow.
By the way, Osceola was the Seminoles chief I was thinking of earlier.
Osceola is a town and a county, I believe, in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, maybe an historical note of some note here. If I'm trying to find my cure. Oh, I know you. Well, let's do this. Flounder, one of Pete Davis's favorite. What? Oh, is he coming up yet?
Governor Kemp is coming up on Fox right now, but he's talking about college admissions program. I don't think we care about that.
Yeah, we saw he was coming up. If it has to do with the border or the politics or something, we'll take it. But otherwise, we don't really. Anyway, Flounder, that's an important day of history. It was on this day in 1969 that Monty Python's Flying Circus premiered on BBC television. John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Graham Chapman, Terry Jones, Michael Palin, Eric Idle, 45 sketches over 4 years for Monty Python's Flying Circus. And if you aren't familiar with them, you owe yourself the enjoyment of checking them out, including the old British TV show Fawlty Towers. Anyway.
They just found something I'd never even heard of, that 2 of them, Terry Jones, who's no longer with us, and Michael Palin, did a show on the BBC before about the entire history of Britain, and it's a comedy.
Really?
And I said, where is that? I want to see that.
Yeah, I bet it's good. Anyway, in their honor of today, and this may be one of your favorite groups of all time, favorite comedy.
They changed comedy.
Yeah. Again, in 69 is when they started on the BBC. Flounder, if you will, a little something from them.
I came here for a good argument.
No, you didn't. You came here for an argument.
Well, an argument's not the same as contradiction.
Can be.
No, it can't. An argument's a connected series of statements to establish a definite proposition.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. It isn't just contradiction.
Look, if I argue with you, I must take up a contrary position.
But it isn't just saying, no, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Argument's an intellectual process. Contradiction is just the automatic gainsaying of anything the other person says.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Not at all.
No, look.
Thank you.
What?
That's it. Good morning.
But I was just getting interested.
Sorry, the 5 minutes is up.
That was never 5 minutes just now.
I'm afraid it was.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to argue anymore.
What?
If you want me to go on arguing, I'll have to pay for another 5 minutes.
But that was never 5 minutes just now. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
I'm very sorry, but I told you I'm not allowed to argue unless you pay.
Oh, all right.
Pay some.
There you are.
Thank you.
Well?
Well, what?
That was never 5 minutes just now.
I told you I'm not allowed to argue unless you pay.
I just paid.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Anyway, Monty Python's Flying. And there's one after another after another. He's dead, not dead. You'll be in a minute. It's just, bring out your dead. It's just.
That's what they did. 1969 to 1972, 73 is when they were on.
Yeah.
When we were kids in DeKalb County, Georgia, we knew about them.
Yeah.
And it was only on once a week on PBS at 10:30 at night on Thursdays. And if you missed it, man, it just destroyed your week because everybody was talking about it on the bus the next day. Yeah. What did you see Monty Python last night?
And again, John Cleese I remember him when he was a guest star on Cheers when Sam and Diane were having problems and he was a marriage counselor or something and they kept, it was just, the guy is brilliant. His hand motions, his expressions, everything was just so perfect. And if you never saw Fawlty Towers, Fawty or whatever, Fawlty Towers, where he ran an inn with his wife, it's just hysterical. Anyway, congratulations, 96.
Like the Marx Brothers, they changed comedy.
Yeah, and made it different. 4:39. Okay, Flounder, if you would, you may, excuse me, I'm sorry. You may know the name Sage Steele, former ESPN well-known host and personality. Well, she was one of the recent guests on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. And here's an example of a female and a female of color, former sports person, talking about our current president of the United States.
And then I said, so you were a receiver? And he started to explain it. And here's the saddest thing. his voice just trailed off. He said, I was good, and then he went silent, and he goes, oh, never mind. No, you're laughing. I thought it was so sad because I realized that's why he was in his basement during the whole election cycle.
Right.
Because even then, he couldn't finish his sentences. He struggled. So forget about politics. I don't care. I didn't vote for him. However, that made me sad to realize.
So you didn't vote for Biden either?
No, hell no, I didn't vote for Biden. And look what we have.
Even with the choice being Trump.
Yes.
But see, that's A, B, C, D, E. That's just the E. You got to accept the E. It's okay.
Bill.
It is. I will never really understand it, or him, or half the country. But you know what? I love people who have crazy E's.
No, I don't know where he's going.
What
with
the hell
that.
does he mean by that?
It's strange.
Well, what you got to realize is he also had a joint in his hand.
He's drunk and high the whole time.
Yeah.
I give him credit for it that he does stuff like that.
Yeah. But again, even the sports girl and so forth, it's clear that the man is not.
Well,
there.
she's got her head on straight. She's not going to. She's going to make up her own mind. She's not going to follow a party's dictates.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of politics, a couple more things here, which are just here we go. We keep talking about how Republicans eat their own, and we're up for it now. Matt Gaetz was the guy responsible for basically getting rid of the Speaker of the House, and now there's a third candidate in. Now they got Governor Kemp maybe talking about...
Nah, that's from earlier.
Okay.
No.
If Governor Kemp's on Fox, but it may have been an earlier thing where it has to with the college admissions or something, which...
He obviously hasn't been to the barber shop lately.
Well, he's got a little off on the side there, I think. Anyway, Matt Gaetz, holy cow, they're going after him again. They're going after him good. For example, Republican Mike Lawler from New York said he would support kicking Matt Gaetz out of the Republican conference. Mike Pence's chief of staff offered his own withering assessment, hinting at Gaetz' allegations of sex trafficking, which the House Ethics Committee is examining after prosecutors dropped the case against Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz to say he came here as a fiscal crusader. It's more likely he came here for the teenage interns on Capitol Hill, to be honest, the guy told CNN. Let's see. They're talking about his past. The consensus is that Matt Gaetz is an a-hole, said Representative Anthony Esposito, another Republican congressman from New York. It has everything to do with Matt Gaetz putting Matt Gaetz above the United States, said Representative Derek Van Olden, Republican, Wisconsin. The only word I can describe for him is he's either a fool or a liar. Representative Girl Stephanie Bice, Republican, Oklahoma. Gaetz is using the American people as pawns in his narcissistic game of charades, and I think we've had enough. Now, Senator Markwayne Mullin, Republican, Oklahoma, has been unloading on Matt Gaetz in TV interviews. He says Matt Gaetz used to share video footage of the women he slept with. There are allegations that Gaetz trafficked a 17-year-old girl for sex. Mullin is a supporter of McCarthy, so he's ticked off at Matt Gaetz. He said when allegations about Gaetz emerged in early 2021, the media didn't give him the time of day because he was not seen as an important figure. Mullin also said that none of his colleagues defended Matt Gaetz at the time. And, quote, there's a reason why no one in Congress came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls that he had slept with. He would brag about how he would crush what's it called? Erectile dysfunction. He would brag about crushing erectile dysfunction medicine and chase it with energy drinks so he could go all night. This was obviously before he got married, unquote. One guy says, the first time I saw Matt Gaetz, he walked up to me, and Kristi Noem at the time was at the podium. He was elected at the time. He walked up to me. He said, man, she's a fine thing. You can put the B word in place there. Gaetz in a statement said that was nonsense. I don't think Wayne Mullin and I have said 20 words to each other on the House floor. Repiling on the internal criticism, Senator John the Creature. Senator John the Thing Fetterman from Pennsylvania, quote, replacing one D with a different kind of D isn't going to change anything in the House. We're one DNA test away from the Jerry Springer show. Yeah, because of you dork. God. Anyway,
do you believe any of them?
Republicans coming after Gates to get back at him for upheaving what should have had an upheaval.
Yeah, he shouldn't have to do this. Do your job. Quit lying to us. They're all liars. The whole Republican Party is nothing but a bunch of impotent liars.
Can you see anything good coming out of this?
No.
I mean, these are Republicans telling the world.
You lost. You losers. You lost the vote. Now either get on and get another speaker or shut up, but quit attacking the guy who got rid of him, because that has nothing to do with anything now. We've moved on.
Not to mention he was cleared by the FBI, the DOJ, and every other organization that has
slandering him now.
They tried to claim that because the young girls were hanging around him, and he was probably having sex with college girls. I mean, I don't think there's no doubt about it. They might have been 18, 19 years old. Who knows? And the problem was that some of the young girls were going on spring break or something, and he and his buddy were going there, and the theory was that he was paying for them for their plane tickets so he could take them to another country to have sex with them. Well, that wasn't hardly the case at all. If he went on spring break and there were hot girls there had sex with him, and that's one thing, but they tried to make him some kind of a, it's like a cat they did with Kavanaugh. Sex with young girls are like a gang rape train rape gang people or some damn thing. God almighty. Anyway, even Brian Kilmeade's getting in on the attacks of the stuff. You bring in God into the snotty little beady-eyed little dwarf.
Cross-eyed moron.
Scuzzbag. Anyway, 4:45 already with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Adios, baby. $4.49. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder with the Doors. It was on this day, 1967, the Doors played the final night of a 5-night run at Steve Paul's Scene in New York City. Where's my coloring pen? Where's my coloring pen?
Damn it, Taggart.
I got it. I found it. And they never changed the sound of their no. Oh, sorry. Could you go up and down once in a while with it?
Pardon me?
That's what she said.
That's more of a line for me.
But seriously, 449.
That's what Pete said.
Give her Pete and Flat. I think with that thing there. Let's see. Birthday of note. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of cool. Remember the movie Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
One of the key characters in there was a lady actress named Glynis Johns.
Yes.
Remember? You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Very pretty, big, sparkly eyes. She kind of reminds me of, who is that Broadway actress she looked like her,
Bernadette
too?
Peters?
No, a couple of, but that kind of look. Very kind of
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, something like and no business like show me, kind of Ethel Merman, not really.
She wasn't good looking.
No, I know. I can't think of whoever I'm thinking of. Anyway, Glynis Johns, who was in Mary Poppins, among other things, is 100.
Wow.
How cool is that? Big sparkly eye. Remember, she's big sparkly eyes.
Yeah,
kind of,
she's pretty.
Yeah, she's very pretty. Kind of real little sparkly eye look to her. And she's 100-year. Glynis Johns, 100 years old.
She played. Wow, God.
She did a million. I mean, believe me, you'd know if you looked at Mary, it's got her character, you'd recognize her as being in a million things. Well, she's 100, so she's been around a long time, that's for sure. On this day, 1947, President Harry Truman delivered the first televised address from the White House. 1947. I bet there were 9 TV sets in the whole country. 451. We're going to talk about Brian Kilmeade getting snotty the other day. Also, Gold Bar Bob Menendez's wife is a killer. Going more into court. We'll talk more. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We got a phone call? Yeah, an actual phone call with the Kevin Pete and Flounder. Hi, who's Denise? You're on the radio. How's it going? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, you're on the radio. Hi, Denise. What's up?
How are you?
Well, we're doing just fine.
It's after my last fiasco. I wasn't going to call anymore, but I wanted to just say how much Jennifer means to me and how impressed I am that she has been clean for 19 years. And she just is a bright light in the darkness, and just had to call and let everybody know that she is special. She's a very special person.
Well, Denise, thank you. You're very sweet. She's her second life started at 19 years old today, and we're very grateful. October 5th, 19 years ago, and 2006. Before
so there'd be no math.
Isn't that funny? I'm thinking about 9 things, and I realize I'd be looking at my calendar in my head.
2004.
2004. Yeah.
2004.
2004. Anyway, so all right, now it's 4:52 already. Holy cow! We got more comedy bits coming up. Flounders Funnies. We got Holy Crap at Sports with Pete and Skynet and tweets and stuff like that. First, a newsy thing again. Speaking of the Speaker of the House and the business that happened, Brian Kilmeade. That's not. He's a beady-eyed little kind of a smarmy, snotty little, something. It just bothers me.
I'm sure he wrote all those books.
Well, he's, and I do see him with his history stuff, and I'm sure he has a staff who helps him put all that, but whatever. No. You got to give him credit that he's a major personality. He's
like Nathaniel Hawthorne. He sits there at night by candlelight and handwrites.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Every one of those.
I'm sure he does all by himself, probably. Anyway, he was on TV the other night with Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee, and it got kind of snotty because Brian Kilmeade kind of started going like anti-religion and making fun of the Republican from Tennessee about the ousting McCarthy vote. Flounder, if you would, sir. Brian.
Are you happy following Matt Gaetz? Is that your leader?
I'm not following Matt Gaetz. I made my own decision. I didn't ask Matt.
But if Matt Gaetz didn't challenge, you weren't going to challenge.
Do what?
If Matt Gaetz didn't stand up, you weren't going to challenge. You know that.
I believe I would have.
Oh, come on. Please. You were praying about it 1 minute. The next minute, you're going to lead an insurgency?
So you don't think that praying about it's important? Is that what you're saying?
One minute you're praying about how you're going to vote with Matt Gaetz, and the next minute you're going to lead an insurgency?
listen, you got a predetermined answer to everything. I
have an opinion about what's going on. Do you have an opinion too?
Yeah.
What a dick.
I mean, my God. That's not how you do it. I mean, you don't have to be confrontational to get what you're trying to achieve. I mean, I don't get it. That wasn't an interview about what the speaker
He
issued.
confronted him about praying.
Yeah.
Are you an idiot?
Yeah, it's just stupid.
How are you going to win that?
But why would you even? Why is it even a thing? I mean, it's just it started with CNN when all of a sudden, remember, Walter Cronkite used to do news for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The America's news programs were 15 minutes. And all of a sudden, CNN goes 24-hour news. Remember when that happened? Everybody go, oh, my God, what are they going to put on 24 hours all the time? It's like the Weather Channel, 24, really. And all of a sudden, here we are. And it led to talk shows, and I mean, the whole world changed.
Well, the problem with CNN, it went all news, and everyone said they wouldn't have enough to fill it. They had more than enough to fill it.
Yeah.
But now they don't do that anymore.
Exactly.
Now they have crap and fluffer and stories, and they ignored the news.
Yes, because the news is no longer the news. The news is now what's on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and social media. And that's where they have their meetings to say what they should cover and how they should cover it. What angle should they take instead of finding out what's going on? You used to be going out and do the story, and then you come back and tell what happened.
It was to a certain extent, but there was also the meeting in the morning, which included the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and the New York Times.
Right.
And if it was in those two, then by golly, we need to cover it. And I never understood that. There's things going on in Atlanta. You have reporters that cover certain aspects of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let them do their stories.
Yeah. Well, before that, we had all the wire services back in the early 70s. It was after the mid-70s, all of a sudden that kind of changed. But even before that, we had Reuters and AP and UPI, and we had every possible wire service sources and used them. I mean, anyway, the news business these days is now they're advocates and they're just filling stuff with they're performers. They're performers. Brian Kilmeade is not a journalist. I mean, he's a writer, I guess, or a helper. Anyway, I'm not quite sure. 4:56. Speaking of white trash, the Biden family has now gotten rid of their dog, their 2-year-old German Shepherd Commander. The second dog they've had to kick out of the White House because he's been biting people, and apparently it's a lot more than 11 bites. Apparently it's just totally out of control. And it's not his fault. Again, this makes me so angry. This family is just, I mean, they're just white trash.
Dog abusers.
He's not. They say Commander's not presently on the White House campus while next steps are evaluated, according to the first concubine.
Is he on a farm upstate?
Yeah, I'm going to take him to a farm with all his friends. They are deeply concerned about the safety of those who work at the White House and those who protect them every day. They're not saying where he's going to go or if they're going to just put him to sleep. He was given to Biden as a puppy 2 years ago. The president's third dog, another German Shepherd Major, got sent away at age 3 after biting incidents, and an older German Shepherd Champ died. They probably killed him. Major bit some staff members despite some training and eventually said, well, again, it's just the whole thing was wrong from the beginning. And I blame them. And it's about time somebody takes this dog and lets that dog live a happy freaking life. He's only 2 years old. My God. He's got a whole life to live. I mean, what are the chances that he can finally find somebody who'll take care of him? My God, I mean, it's just appalling.
They can't raise a kid, they can't raise a dog, and they certainly can't govern a country. I mean, they're basically Joe Biden's been worthless since he was 29 when he entered public service, and he's been feeding off the public trough since he was 29 years old.
In Delaware, he became the credit card senator. He was the credit card congressman, senator.
The senator from Dow.
From Dow, yeah. Hard to believe. By the way, speaking of weird politics, I don't know if anybody else is covering this, but they did last night on Fox. Democrat Senator Goldbar Bob Menendez's wife, who in 2018 killed a guy. Apparently a guy was jaywalking, and she ran him over in her Mercedes and killed him. Her name is Nadine. At the time, she was engaged, or I guess she was engaged at the time, was dating him, Menendez. And she ran over and killed a guy named Richard Koop. And she was, if you saw the video at the scene of the crime, the cop apparently never gave her a DUI test, never gave her any kind of a road test. Let's see. The audio recording show a man identifying as a retired officer from a neighboring department mentioned he had come to the scene as a favor for a friend whose wife was acquainted with this woman, Nadine. And it's all been swept under the rug. She got away with anything after running over and killing a guy, and then because her Mercedes was broken, the friends of Bob Menendez, Gold Bar Bob, his friends from overseas, gave her a new Mercedes. Well, that's special. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Give her Pete and Flounder. Look out. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Aim. Look out, 503. It's only me. It's only the giver. Don't be afraid. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer at Sports Raconteur Extraordinaire. By the way, I have like 4 sports birthdays and a sports historical note after Holy Crap at Sports, mister. And mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. How you doing, boys? Everything all right? We got a big I'm going nuts. We're out going nuts about the border business. Again, here we go. I'm absolutely flabbergasted about what's going on, and just have one lesson after another because of what they have now decided. They have to cave in and realize Donald Trump was right. Reversing course, clearing the way, new border wall. In fact, President Showers with daughter has gone so far as to eliminate a whole bunch of environmental law. Can you imagine? Talk about the hypocrisy. They had to get rid of environmental safety laws, which is, of course, their whole big thing about saving the planet and global warming and all this other crap. So now they're saying, well, screw the environmental laws. We got to get this border wall built. And now, just now, we heard in the 5 o'clock news, Mayorkas is now
backtracking on the backtrack.
So he's saying, well, there was something out of context. We're going to build the wall, but we're not really building the Trump wall. I mean, they're trying so hard to not say we screwed up. We were wrong for 3 years. We should have had Donald Trump's policy in place. Remember, they not only did not build the wall, they tore down what was. They sold the equipment, and now they have to buy it all over again.
Well, now they're trying to please everyone instead of leading the country and know that everybody's going to be behind what you're doing, but you're leading. They're trying to please everybody.
They're reacting to the reaction. That's what they do. That's what they do, and that's how they keep getting away with it. And now they're going to claim, well, now we're solving the border problem because you Republicans wouldn't come up with a program in Congress. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying.
They're now the saviors of America's border policy.
Until we meet again, the border is solved.
It is solved once and for all. Just unfreaking believable. The Democratic administration picking up exactly where Donald Trump left off. I mean, that's what this amounts to. The decision to build more walls contradicts their previous promise to end the construction. We're going to play the sound bites again a little bit later on. And now they're claiming that the planned construction, which would add up to 20 miles, does not violate Biden's proclamation. Congress appropriated fiscal year funds for the construction of border barrel in the Rio Grande Valley and used those funds. So now they're trying to complain that it's really not their fault. It was.
Wait a minute. Now, we have him on tape, Biden saying there won't be one extra foot built on that wall while I'm president.
That's right. And now Donald Trump is reacting. Saying,
you know what he's doing? This is the same thing he did on COVID. When he says, I'll fix it within the first 6 months. And then he got in and going, well, the president really can't do much to fix it.
This is him saying it right here.
There will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration. Number one. Number two, what I'm going to focus on, the fact is that somebody in this group written a lot about the border.
George First Bush lost on no new taxes. He lost on that.
That's right.
How about this guy? No, not one extra foot.
Right. Well, there you are. And all the Democrats, all of them, every one of them said the same thing. They all agreed with it. And now the Democrats in New York, Democrats in Chicago, Democrats in every northern state that's had people coming into them are saying, we got to get rid of this.
The people are saying get rid of this. Yeah. The politicians are not.
Well, now they're saying, now they have to kowtow to it, but they're not because it's their idea. They're not leading anything. They're reacting to the reaction of the people. It's hysterical. Donald Trump, Homeland Security guy Mayorkas said there was an acute, immediate need to waive dozens of federal laws in order to build the border wall in South Texas. And Donald Trump says Biden sees our country as being invaded. What is he going to do about the 15 million people from prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums, and terrorists that have already come into our country? What has happened to our nation, said Donald Trump. Go back to Trump policies. He has to reinstate remain in Mexico and Title 42. He has to do all the other things that we were doing. A Trump campaign spokesman has said Donald Trump's always right. That's why he built close to 500 miles of powerful new wall on the border would have been finished by now. Instead, Crooked Joe turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminals. The administration put a halt to the border wall in early 2021 after Biden promised there would be no more, not another foot. You just heard him say it. The construction under the Trump administration was one example of the prior administration's misplaced priorities and failure to manage immigration in a safe, orderly, and humane way is what they claim, what Biden tried to claim. Oh, my God. Well, the pressure's been outrageous. And one more thing. Donald Trump says, if reelected, I will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. If I begin a second term, I will begin by immediately terminating every open border policy of the Biden administration. And again, my idea is when they come across the border, you give them their little plastic bag of a toothbrush and a comb and some breath mints or whatever the hell condoms, and then let them go to the bathroom and change your kid's diaper if you're a family, and then you get to board a bus. You don't even stay in the border area where you come in. You stay there for maybe 12 minutes, 25 minutes. And you get in line, and then you get on your bus, and the buses leave every minute. They're just thousands of them, one after another, and they just go into all the sanctuary cities. Can you imagine if in the last 3 years there have been, 6 million that came across? Can you imagine if the buses for 3 years had been lined up and take them to all these well, hell, it would have been over in a month.
Yeah, it would already been over.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been lasted in 3 years. It would have been over in a few weeks.
This is the Mariel boat lift, except this time you didn't even need a boat.
Yeah, and you didn't need the riots in the prisons in Miami either after Mariel boat lift to say, boy, we blew this.
They've emptied their prisons throughout Central America.
That's right. Why not? Who wouldn't? Get in line. They take them to the deport points. Yeah. My God. I mean, it's astounding, absolutely astounding what's going on with these people. 10 after 5 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And again, there's now a story that the Texas Rangers, not the federal Gestapo investigation, because they're in on it. The Texas Rangers are now briefing their soldiers to go get and seize a remote 170-acre cartel-controlled island in the middle of the Rio Grande River on American territory. And it's a 170-acre site controlled by the Mexican cartels. They have sniper locations. They have sniper nests. They have bombs. They have booby traps. And the Texas Rangers, I can't even think what I'm trying to say. The Texas Rangers are the ones that have to go in there and confront them.
I've seen the Rio Grande. Where is it big enough to have an island that big in the middle of it?
There is one, and it's run by the Mexican cartel at American territory.
Wow.
That's how ballsy these people are.
I know.
They have their own island
in
to
Texas.
help the cartels get the people across.
That's how at ease they feel in Biden's America, that nothing will touch them.
Man.
They control the border. The fentanyl problem is China and Mexico bringing it across
the border. Right.
Did we just lose 4 kids in New York City?
Yeah, that's right.
That's because of Biden's policies at the border.
Yeah. It's over and over and over. And finally, they're saying, well, we got to close the border. And every time they say it, they should say, like Donald Trump did. Again, Donald Trump closed the border, stay in Mexico policy, building the wall. If that had been continued from that policy, President Scuzzbag would be able to take credit for a great new border policy. And by that time, and by the way, he had control of Congress then, too. He should have come out with his plan then. Democrats had control under Buttigieg, and they never did anything.
They don't do this because Obama, the first 2 years, had complete control. Didn't do a thing about it. Why didn't he do it? Because he didn't want to, because they like using this over and over again against the Republicans.
And then all of a sudden they realized, well, we better get all these Democrats over here now because it's looking bad by Republicans taking control. So let's open the borders. And they did. We got 6 million new potential Democrats.
But here's the thing. If they do close it, within just a few years, I guarantee you, they'll come up with laws to circumvent it so they can bring more in. As soon as this dies down, we can start letting you back in.
I wouldn't. They can't be trusted. Again, they have the end game, and that's all they can think about is the end game. They'll do anything for the end game. They'll cheat, lie, obfuscate, everything. Michigan now is going to early voting for like 2 years, and all by mail. And to keep Trump off the ballot. So those are 3 things they're trying to prevent the democracy of Democratic Republican.
And it's not just Democrats. The Republicans are in bed with the Chamber of Commerce, who wants cheap labor, which will undermine American
Well,
pay wages
again. I think it's hysterical. We can't ever forget that the Democrats and the administration now realizes we need to close the border, just like Trump said. That's the new campaign slogan. Democrats want to be more like Republicans,
but it was racist.
Well, I guess we're all not racist anymore, unless they're racist too.
Where's the apology?
I want my apology. 5:13, holy crap, it's sports coming up with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and Pete Davis. Look out. All right, look out. It's 5:17. Coming up, more on faking out the Fox people, plus the politics and a rather disturbing high school situation you should know about. But first, we've got your activities going on sports-wise, because we have Holy Crap at Sports with Pete Davis.
We've got a couple breaking news stories this afternoon, both involving the Mets. Their GM, Billy Epler, has resigned. That's not a big surprise there. And former Mets manager Buck Showalter wants the Open Angels job.
Really?
So good for him. Give it to him.
Why not?
Let him have it. Braves and Phillies' first pitch for Game 1 Saturday in Truist Park will be at 6:07 p.m. We finally get a night game.
I'll bet you.
A night game.
There you are.
The Phils swept the Marlins to set up this rematch from last year's playoffs.
Yeah.
You can listen to the game on sister station 680 The Fan.
Now, are you nervous about what you're going to talk about?
I am. I did not want to see the Phillies again because they're not afraid of the Braves. And
I saw them last night. They've been all of a sudden boom, bang, pow. And
I'm glad we're playing here and not playing up there. Any team can get hot.
Yeah,
I mean, it just doesn't matter. They could be playing the Diamondbacks and the D-backs. Look, they're hot right now, so you don't know. Phillies' Bryce Harper says it's going to be an electric series. He's absolutely correct.
Right.
Spencer Strider and Max Fried will start games 1 and 2. Bryce Elder may get the ball for game 3. It's a best of 5. Mm-hmm. All of them, and they all start. The 4 of them start this Saturday. They're all best of 5 series. So, by the way, the extra NLDS sponsors for this lovely NLDS segment,
very nice.
Marietta Toyota, Truist Bank, Alternate Career Sports Academy, Aquagard, Solomon Brothers, and Subaru of Gwinnett.
Well, there you are.
1991, on this date, after 11 lead changes or ties in the closing weeks, the Atlanta Braves finally clinched the division on the second to last day of the season.
Mm-hmm. Boys for the years, man. Started 91 and onward for, 13, 14 years, whatever it was?
As someone who grew up here and, from 1969, having a great team to not being in the playoffs again for like 13 years, when that happened in 91, 10 years after that, it was like, this city just came alive.
Yeah.
In a way I never thought I'd see. It was just a magical time.
That pitching crew, and it just all clicked.
Yeah, after the All-Star break. Yeah. They just went nuts after the All-Star break. The Diamondbacks ended the Brewers' season. The Rangers did the same to Tampa Bay, as the Twins did to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are so disappointing over the last few years. All that talent. The Twinkies had not won a playoff round since George W. Bush was in the White House.
Wow.
2002, I believe. Toronto's manager is getting heat for pulling his starter early.
Yeah. What the heck was that all about? The guy was throwing a shutout.
He pulled a Kevin Cash. Jeez. He pulled the guy in the World Series.
Is this analytics? I mean, what was he afraid of left-handy against a guy with 9 pitches?
He brought the lefty in and got shelled.
He 3 full innings, and in the 4th inning, shutout, and he pulls the pitcher. And then the next guy who came in gave up 2 runs, which is, by the way, the number of runs that beat him.
Overmanaging.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing your sports. I'm so sorry.
Overmanaging.
I couldn't believe it. It was analytic. I mean, what the hell?
Maybe it is. Vlad Guerrero Jr. getting picked off second base didn't help with second and third. That was pretty stupid on there. Will go down with Merkel's boner as one of the dumbest plays in postseason history.
It's just, I don't get it.
Look that up, kids. Merkel's boner.
Yeah.
So all 4 playoff series so far have been sweeps, and MLB needs to look at reseeding after each round. The Braves fought hard to have the best record, so they get home field advantage. But they should also be playing the lowest team record-wise that's still around, like the D-backs, and not be facing the Phillies just yet. Mm-hmm. It would be better for baseball and TV ratings, the Braves getting the 3rd best record team, and the Dodgers getting team number 6 right now. That's not fair. The Dodgers, who did not have a good as record of the Braves, get a worse team in this round than the Braves do.
This is exactly why pro golf, which all used to be only match play, the problem is if you have your 2 best players meeting in the first round, your 2 best players aren't going to be meeting in the end to see what's so. When you're eliminated after one thing, you better be resetting the standards so that the best teams actually get the chance to play. Just saying.
All I heard was wah, 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 wah. I have no idea what that whole match play thing is.
Oh, my God.
Former Braves reliever Eric O'Flaherty tweets, "Sweeper is the most annoying term in baseball right now," and he's absolutely correct. It's not a new pitch.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. It's always been there.
It's a pitch.
It's a slurve.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bill James Online tweets, "I'd like to nominate Angel Hernandez for Speaker of the House. Anything to get him off the baseball field."
Oh, man.
Former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald is suing his alma mater for $130 million American dollars for inflicting emotional distress on him after firing him over the hazing scandal.
That's right.
By the way, there's a nasty hazing scandal going up in South Dakota right now. I don't really want to get into it.
Disgusting.
Six people, 17 to 19-year-old young men, men who have basically supposedly raped girls and boys.
Yeah.
In a hazing
for
thing.
hazing for football.
For a baseball.
A teenage baseball league.
Yeah.
17 to 19 years old.
I'm sorry.
6 white guys,
There's
white
something
kids
twisted.
raping children. Yeah.
There's something twisted about that. You're shooting me a bird. You know that? You're doing this
I'm
thing.
so sorry. I was playing with my
I don't know if you're making a statement over there.
My beard, I think I'm not going to shave anymore. Screw it. I'm just tired. Screw it. I just want to
do the old
freaking hermit.
Rip Van Winkle thing.
Let it go.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
Struggling New York Giants right tackle Evan Neal, their first-round pick out of Alabama in 2022, is part of a crew that allowed 11 sacks of quarterback Daniel Jones against the Seahawks the other night.
You can't have 11.
Evan is telling the fans up there in New Jersey and New York to boo louder. He also had this nugget of joy, and I quote, "Why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of a sheep? The person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere?" End quote. Evan Neal has apologized. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy has come a pretty long way from being Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL draft not too long ago.
Last one.
Mr. Irrelevant. Yes, you're absolutely right. He's now with the Super Bowl level team. And we'll find out this weekend, Cowboys 49ers. That should be a good one. How much do you think that Brock Purdy is making as the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers?
Well, he was the last person taken in the draft, so I assume it's probably a couple $100,000 or maybe $450,000 maybe net the starting rookie salary these days, something like that.
Well, he's making higher than that.
Oh, he is?
He's making $870K.
Wow. Well, okay.
Hard to make do on such a low salary.
Well,
though,
it's a football player.
Well, it's San Francisco. He's trying to live.
I can't find a place for that.
Brock has a teammate as a roommate, and he's still driving his Toyota Sequoia.
He's probably starving. He's probably not making any money. I'll tell you, when I went to San Francisco, I was making a lot of money, and it went nowhere.
That's right. And that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was the 80s, and it was a horrible place to live.
The New York Post reporting the NFL has asked its television partners to promote Taylor Swift's upcoming movie for free. NBC and ESPN both did that.
Wow.
Because, it was over and over. They kept showing it over and over again.
Oh,
How many eras can you have in 17 years, though? I have to ask.
Isn't it about almost over, though?
Taylor Swift?
No, the publicity of the thing.
Even they say it's gone too far. Even the two of them say it's gone too. Because look at the pressure on them now. If they're just friends. Or they just hooked up for a time or two. Now, do they feel pressure to just keep hanging out when they don't want to?
It's silly.
But they're making so much money in publicity off of it.
I know.
AT&T is partnering up with Gallaudet, is that how you pronounce it? Gallaudet University to introduce a game changer for deaf football players. They designed a 5G connected helmet that shows play calls on the visor. All right. You can't even get a Netflix box in your place in Alpharetta. And these kids are running around with 5G in their helmet.
AI in their face. That's
The football team, which Gallaudet is a private university in Washington, D.C., for deaf and hard of hearing students, will wear the gear for the first time ever, I think, Saturday. Now, to repeat our top story, here's Kimmer Show correspondent for the Hard of Hearing, Garrett Morris. AT&T is partnering up with Gallaudet University to introduce a game changer for deaf and hard of hearing football players.
Case of the word of.
I told you there'd be an apology having to be issued later from this show.
Yes, there would be an apology.
And on this date, 1911, the National Commission, whoever that is, sells the motion picture rights to the World Series. There was no television.
No.
So they sold motion picture rights for $3,500. When the players say, we just want to wet our beak, where's our share? The commission cancels the deal. So you wonder why there's a players' union in baseball.
Yeah, well, it seems to make a little sense now. There is an anniversary on this day, 2001, concerning a certain San Francisco Giants baseball player and a certain...
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, but you want to not mention it?
No, you can. I'm not going to.
Barry Bonds at the home of that. Whatever. I do have some birthdays, though.
Okay.
Sports birthdays, including something we were just talking about. I'm surprised I didn't interrupt you. Travis Kelce, 34 today.
He's 34.
34.
All the hits he's taken.
And she's 33.
Well, she's going to do, like I said before, and Amanda was pointing out, she goes, well, maybe she doesn't want a family. Maybe she doesn't. But come on.
I can't
How
imagine.
old do you want to be?
I can't imagine she wants children.
Why?
I mean,
Why wouldn't she?
Well, she's 33. She's going on another world tour. She's
true.
not married. She's got to, starting. Where's she going to find a boyfriend in the next year? I mean, if to get somebody serious enough to marry and have kids.
What does she do?
Maybe she's going to have one on her own. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The sports birthdays also include Mario Lemieux. 58, hockey legend, Mario Lemieux.
Second best player ever, I think.
First being?
Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky. And also Barry Switzer. He's either 86 or 87.
Well, his upbringing was kind of bizarre, so maybe he doesn't know how old he is.
It could go either way.
By the way, I don't want to hear from the Bobby Orr people out there either. You know, if he had knee problems and he didn't play as long as he could have.
Bobby Orr's not a better.
No, he's one of the great.
He's the best defenseman of all time.
The late great Jack Kennedy told me, and he saw him in his prime, said he was better than Gretzky. So I don't know.
Well, I would. Well, he was probably more dangerous to other people on the ice at the time, and more of a leader in terms.
Well, he was a defenseman who could score.
Yeah, he was a very unusual hockey player. There hasn't been another one like him.
Yeah. He reminds me of Billy Sims, who's hurt his knee. Or God knows what he could have done if he hadn't got hurt.
Oklahoma running back who
went to Detroit and got hurt. There's a few people that had knee problems, and you never know what would have happened.
Yeah. Got 528 with a Kimmer Pete and a Flounder. Do we have a? You know what?
Rodney.
Let's do this. I think it's on this. If I have a history thing. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I know what I got. Oh, all right.
He literally just told you what we were doing.
Rodney Dangerfield. He's finding it here.
No, well, it's on this day in history, and I want to give it the full thing.
We're running out of time.
2004, Rodney died of no respect. He was 82.
I'll tell you, I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape, you know? Yeah, last week I told my wife I need a home improvement loan. She gave me $1,000 to move out. I'll tell you, my wife, there's always something, you know? Well, the other day I called her up. I said to her, honey, I've been thinking about the last time we had sex. I'm getting excited. She said, who is this? I'll tell you, my wife, she never went for me. Well, the first time I called her up, she told me, come on over. There's nobody home. I went over. There was nobody home. My wife, she drives me nuts. Oh, she was afraid of the dark. She saw me naked. Now she's afraid of the light. I'll tell you, that's all right. That's okay.
No, really. Fix your tie.
No, I'll tell you, actually, I shouldn't tell jokes about my wife. I mean, she's attached to a machine that keeps her alive. The refrigerator. And I'll tell you, my wife, she can't cook either. My house, we pray after we eat. I bought a pressure cooker. Now I eat off the ceiling.
The flies chipped in to fix the screen door. 5:30 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here. Look out. Like out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 5:35 with Pete Davidson, Flounder, and Jimi Hendrix. 1966, on this very day, having moved to and living in London, Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell, and Noel Redding played together for the first time. The Jimi Hendrix Experience was formed in 1966. Will they play music here, Fly? What are you doing?
I was listening.
Oh, because you got your headset, you had screwed into your head, and you looked like you were trying to listen to something special.
No, I was just listening.
Oh, okay. Well, we can play this for a minute.
No, that's okay.
All right.
Okay, you're going to attack me like that. I'm going to have to call you out on something.
Well, what did I do now?
Something you are going to be so ashamed. You will hang your head. You might just walk out 24 minutes early.
Hey, look, I couldn't take it anymore. I was after 30 years. I had to, what? Oh,
who's in charge of the birthday list here?
Flounder.
Flounder? No, Flounder just has the list. You go through the list and decide which birthdays you should celebrate
today. A million of them, yeah.
So you tried to deflect that to Flounder there. What are you, a Democrat?
Well, no. Well, hold on a second. There are two birthday lists. Every night tonight when I get home, I'm going to make my dinner, and then around 8:30 I'll be putting on TV, and I'll be doing my birthday list and my history list for tomorrow's show. Yeah. When I come in tomorrow, Flounder's also going to have a birthday and history list. So there are two of them, both of which I'm holding in my hand right now.
What you're saying is, in two birthday lists
to get people's birthdays.
You managed to blow this on two birthday lists, not just one.
What?
Larry Fine's birthday is today.
Oh, certainly. Now, he didn't say Curly. That was Curly. Now, Larry Fine was not my favorite stooge.
But he was a stooge.
But he was a stooge, and he was an original stooge, and he had the funny hair, and he was a great
man.
Tremendous man.
Someone put out something that Bob Saget used to meet with him toward Larry's end of his life, and that he befriended him.
In fact, we should have done a bunch of. Oh, certainly.
122 years old today he would have been.
Yeah. Wow.
Larry Fine.
Curly, Larry, and Moe, and Shemp did not cut the package. And he
was all right.
And neither did Uncle Joe or Curly Joe.
Shemp I could put up. Shemp was a good actor. He was in other things. He was in Thin Man movies and stuff like that. Yeah,
you did see him. But it was, Curly, and Curly, of course, there's never be another Curly. And he was a huge animal lover.
Dog lover.
Oh, man, he took care of animals. He was just a sweet guy.
He'd pick up dogs on the road, take them home, or send them to his wife.
I've done it.
You picked up Curly's wife?
I picked up a stray dog on the road.
Oh, yeah. That's how I found Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Anyway, well, I'm a little embarrassed about that. By the way, he mentioned Kate Winslet, who showed up barefoot on my phone today. She's 48. She was in Titanic. Your kids, it says here, hate her in Divergent. And the critics loved her in Mayor of Easttown.
But what she was really good in, and the best thing Jim Carrey ever did, what was that movie, Flounder?
The TV show?
Oh, God. No. You know the movie that Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey.
I hate Jim Carrey.
Let me see that. The Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. The Spotless Mind.
He went away from comedy there, and he kind of got.
And the whole movie, you're going, what the hell's going on with this movie? And at the end of it, you go, oh.
Wow.
You've seen it?
Really?
Yes.
At the end, because the whole movie, you're going, what the hell's going on? And at the end of it, it comes together, and you realize what is going on.
A man and wife, or what?
It's about a relationship, about a guy and a girl trying to get together and falling apart and trying to get together. And it's just. Oh, my God.
Well, now, this was several years old, right?
It's a great date movie. Okay. Oh, my God.
Now, it's several years old, and therefore, we're not going to spoil anything. What's the ending? What's the surprise?
The surprise, I'm trying to remember how it comes back around.
Or the unusual ending of it. So they were breaking up and they go back together.
And I had just gone through a pretty bad breakup at the time, so I'm sitting there watching this movie, and at the end of it, you felt better about things because of the way it ends. And I'm trying to think.
Flounder, do you remember?
It ends in a beautiful way. Let's just say it that way. It's not depressing. It's a very uplifting, I thought, end.
I kind of get it, but there's nothing depressing about it or anything like that. It's more peace of mind, almost like.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. It's like everything's all right. Everything's going to be cool. But you'll hate it for the first hour or so because you're like, like, what the hell?
What's going on here?
But then it comes together, and it's
the sunshine of the mind. What is it?
Eternal sunshine of a spotless mind. It's basically there's a drug trial going on where a guy can make you forget. Oh, that's what it is. There's a drug trial that they get involved with, or Jim Carrey does, because he's had a bad breakup and he wants to forget about it.
Yeah.
And they say, and this doctor says, I can make you forget about that. You never have to worry about it. The problem is it doesn't work all the way. So he keeps remembering things. And it's just...
and that torments him, and then...
Well, no, because at the end, remember, they're running together in the snow, and then they start creating new memories together.
Yeah, it just comes together very well at the end of it. And you might want to watch that movie, actually. Well, it's pretty good.
I should get that app. Get the Jim Carrey app. It's probably an app. I guess there's an app.
Oh, by the way, Loki starts tonight. Season 2, Loki, on Marvel, on Disney.
Oh, I don't have that either. I got to get that app, too. I got to get a lot of apps over there.
College football tonight?
5:41. Oh, my God, that's right.
Oh, who's the NFL game tonight? I always forget to look.
There's no NFL anymore. NFL died. They packed it up, and there's no more games. There's no more games. They have the NFL phone. If you get your NFL wristwatch, you can watch a game tonight. You have to go to the App Store to get
Amazon.
The app. Yeah. Well, Amazon
my God.
app wristwatch stores.
It's the Bears against the Commanders.
Have the Bears lost every game for 14 games now? Somebody said, or something like that. I thought their new quarterback was Fields. Isn't it Fields, their new quarterback?
Justin Fields. Someone made a joke. First of all, if Fields was on the Falcons, they'd be 4-0. That's what somebody said. It probably is true.
Oh boy! Well.
But somebody made a joke that the Bears haven't won. And they made an analogy of it. They haven't won since something happened in politics. I forget what it was, but it's like, oh my God!
Wow!
They've lost 14.
I think some said 14 games in a row.
It's horrible. They blew a 21-point lead to a bad team.
Yeah. Speaking of politics, Flounder, that thing in history, if you don't mind, someone in the back, you okay? I can't. Yeah, he's coming. That thing in history that we had to get a little bit earlier on this day in 1988. Speaking of politics, Democratic vice presidential candidate Lloyd Bentsen, quote, tore Dan Quayle a new one during their debates. If you remember, and if you're a political person, you were watching 1988, here's what that sounded like.
I have as much experience in the Congress as Jack Kennedy did when he sought the presidency. I will be prepared to deal with the people in the Bush administration if that unfortunate event would ever occur.
Senator Benson?
Senator, I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Do you think he got maybe a heads up that was coming?
Oh, obviously that was written for him by the staff. But by the way, did you notice he said mind? It was a friend of mine. He put D's on the end of both of the words in that sentence. Anyway, but the fact of the matter is, Dan Quayle obviously looked chagrined because he didn't know what to say for a comeback because he's not the kind of guy who would have a comeback.
Well, it's the greatest put down in political history, I think.
Yeah, and Dan Quayle should have said, it should have gone. Jack Kennedy should have said, wow, golly, Senator, you know something? This is exactly why you're never going to be president. Because you're just a grumpy old fart who tells people to get off your lawn.
He couldn't say that.
I guarantee if Dan Quayle had said, this goes to show you're just a grumpy old fart who doesn't really belong in politics. You're really just not a very nice old man. It's time for you to go and retire. Boom. Unbelievable. No. He should have reacted
media
to it. I can't believe it.
And that 88. In 88, media would have destroyed him in 88.
I don't know. I don't know.
I disagree.
He should have nailed it.
I think he had a heads up. No one has that good of a comeback off the top of their head. That's like something out of your Aaron Sorkin TV movie or something. Nobody talks like that.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, obviously I know it's true because the issue came up before about how young he was, and there had already been discussions in the media that Jack Kennedy was 43 or 42, and so Dan Quayle's the same. So it had already been an issue before. So he knew, obviously they knew that someone was going to bring up the issue of Jack Kennedy. And so Benson was ready for it. Obviously, boom, pow, was all written down, and it was perfect. And Quayle fell right into it. If his staff should have known what the comeback would have been, or something about the young. Remember Ronald Reagan when they talked about Ronald Reagan in reverse, talked about his age, and Ronald Reagan was debating a 45-year-old guy, and Ronald Reagan said, "Well, you bring up the subject of age, and I think it's very important. I think it's very important to realize that it wouldn't be fair for me to bring up the fact that you're so young and inexperienced. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it was a great line.
And
everybody laughed, and so But again, Quayle didn't have the capacity. He wasn't that kind of guy. He couldn't have, and his staff didn't think about a way of him taking care of that to eliminate the comeback line like that. Anyway, it was
88 was a year where everything should have flipped. Benson should have been the presidential runner, and Dukakis should have been the vice president.
Well, yeah, I mean Dukakis in that stupid helmet with the tank. Oh my God,
poor guy.
And he was terrible. I mean, I remember when who's the black guy for
Bernie
Shaw, Bernie Shaw, Bernard Shaw. Oh, my God. We'll relive it in a minute. Oh, my God. It's 5:45 already. Holy cow. Kevin Feed Flounder. Stand by. Look out. cow. Almost out of Skype. Oh, by the way, I just got my cable bill in the mail today. Yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, $270.
You're an idiot.
I'm going in. I went up $40 just since last month, and I mean I can't believe it. What's going on here? I'm going to go in person tomorrow, or probably
I do
Saturday.
streaming, and it's like it's $100, a little over $100 a month, and I do streaming. Well, I got everything I used to have.
I'm gonna have to buy a new TV and get a smart TV. I don't have. Get
an Xbox and hook it up through Fubo.
Yeah. Let me get a 9-year-old.
Let me see. You spend more on gas than anybody. You spend more on your cable than anybody. There seems to be a common denominator.
Well, I guess we're having some kind of a problem here.
I paid $376 for premium the other day.
Well, I played. Mine went down. I paid $482.
Oh,
yeah, that was great.
It's more than $1 more than I've got.
Apparently, 537. By the way, the Babylon Bee has come out with an investigation. It turned out that business we had yesterday, where all our phones went nuts at 2:18 in the afternoon. Yours did not.
No, it did not, because I did not take the shot, so it couldn't. There was nothing to activate.
Well, see, that was an activation. Apparently, there's and the TVs and everything like that. Well, that messaging emergency alert apparently sent to 330 million phones and TVs was because President Showers with daughter accidentally hit the wrong button, reaching for his life alert. He tripped, going excitedly scurrying to the dining room for his mid-morning oatmeal. He found himself unable to get up, and the White House staff said, we had to get him the button. We had to just dicey all the time. All the buttons he has now. There's the nuke button, the life alert button, the diaper button. It's scary to be an American right now. And incidentally, in case you didn't hear it, they've also come what happened, a terrible tragedy when the new Speaker of the House, acting Speaker of the House, kicked Nancy Potoxi out of her office, that secret special office she had. They kicked her out of her long-occupied hideaway office. Well, apparently they never saw it coming. The workmen were in there, and the unprecedented removal of Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. The crew was tasked with moving Nancy Pelosi out of her long-occupied hideaway. Well, one of the members of the removal staff was crushed to death by a sudden avalanche of empty wine bottles. They were just here to help. They expected to be carrying out a lot of boxes of books and office equipment and computer stuff and maybe some furniture. They didn't expect several years' worth of empty liquor bottles to rain down on them like the freaking apocalypse. You always hear about how alcohol abuse can kill, but not like this. It's so wrong. Anyway, getting to the bottom of the whole thing there. I hate to end on a thing like that. I won't end with this, but no, I won't even talk about the kid, the Harrison High School teacher.
No,
we don't want to care about that thing.
End on a high note.
We don't.
Leave them laughing.
They fired the girl who complained about the German tourists on the New Jersey transit train, screaming at tourists, and she became an official Karen, and she's gone. She's fired.
Haven't you ever wanted to yell at a foreigner, go home?
Yeah, go home. Leave us alone.
Come on. It's American tradition.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been confused all day. It's last night I played poker with tarot cards. I got a full house and 4 people died. I'm so sorry. I had no idea it was that dangerous.
Weird.
Anyway,
all right.
Hey, I gotta go. You're killing me. Pete Flounder and the Kipper. Adios, to herp and a herp. Look out.
A Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Clearing the air. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The head of Homeland Security out with a statement a short time ago is saying there is no new administration policy when it comes to border walls. And the new section of wall that's to be built was approved in 2019.
Now, this 20-mile stretch of border wall is going to be going in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. A Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, said there is a, quote, an acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers at this stretch of the border that is seeing high illegal entry.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Eagle Pass, Texas. This as the administration is going to resume deporting migrants to Venezuela who cross into the U.S. illegally and don't establish a legal basis to remain here. The announcement comes after a decision from Venezuela to accept the return of Venezuelan nationals. Former President Trump has told Fox News Digital that he would accept a short-term role as Speaker of the House to, as in his words, serve as a unifier until lawmakers make a decision on who should take on the post. Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan and Majority Leader Steve Scalise are both running for the position.
One senior House Republican said the former president showing up at the meeting is the last thing the party needs now. The member says Mr. Trump's presence only sows chaos when the GOP needs order. GOP Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene supports Mr. Trump for Speaker. Some Republicans are concerned about the health of Scalise, who is suffering from cancer. They ask how they can support Scalise when they raise questions about the fitness of President Biden.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. Trump did not specify to Fox who asked him to serve. Wall Street drifted slightly lower as pressure from the bond market remains high due to worries about the too-hot job market. The Dow lost 9 points, the Nasdaq off 16, the S&P -5. America is listening to Fox News.